voices of the crowd, raw and fresh. Jake and Cody, prophets of pain, guiding us through this violent domain. TNA clashes, bodies collide, WE storm, nowhere to hide. NXT screams, battlegrounds call, AEW's gamble, rise or fall. Rise or fall. The squared circle, fate will unfold. Glory or ruin, stories retold. Into somewhere, predictions roar. Battles eternal, forevermore.
What's going on, ladies and gents? Jake, aka Countdown Ended, back in the house, but this house is rocking, and we're not alone, because I bring you the one, the only, Cody O'Needy 316. What's going on, my friend?
Doing good. What's going on with you? Hopefully we get a good predictions in tonight. I might shit the bed with the TNA one because I haven't been following up on that, but
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Hopefully everybody out in the audience is doing well. Happy to have you all here. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I apologize for my punctual lateness. Had a few little tech snafus going on. Go ahead and, hey, look at that.
it was my fault. I was holding you hostage again, you know.
I can even make myself a little bit louder, actually. So I'll make that adjustment on the fly. See, I'm learning how to do things as we go along. So hopefully everyone is doing well. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate you guys hanging out and watching with us. It was upsetting not being able to go live on Monday and Tuesday. I do apologize, but I appreciate everybody that went ahead and, sent their well wishes and sentiments over. We appreciate it as always. And we are jam-packed tonight with the motherload of prediction shows. My goodness, are we just through the roof. We've got on Friday, TNA Under Siege, which, yeah, it's a B show. It's supposed to be fun. There's some crazy matches on it and some not great booked things, but it is going to be exciting nonetheless. Then, of course, Saturday night's main event takes place Saturday, right, Cody? I think.
You cut out there.
Oh, you lost me. Look at that. Yeah, I think we went ahead and we're going to have Saturday night's main event on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we've got NXT Battleground. We've got the one and only border brawl that's happening with TNA. I don't think I'll be covering that. I know Spaz is going to be checking that out. So it's certainly a crazy, jam-packed day because we go into NXT Battleground, which leads us directly into AEW Double or Nothing. So while we're reviewing Battleground, we'll still be listening and watching what we can of AEW at that point in time. But shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate the Music Maniacs, and you guys make sure you check out their badass podcast. They do live over there talking about, all types of great music. Hope you're doing well, Anthony Brooks. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us for the evening. So, yeah, Raw had some okay things. It wasn't great. The end of Raw, though, had, my God, that pop for Punk. There's a few things that, I'm very rose-tinted glasses, nostalgia-driven at times, and my favorite things in wrestling, you'll notice pretty commonly, are always revolving around audience reaction, interaction, shocking moments, the returns, the unexpected, the swerves, whatever it might be.
And South Carolina was a hell of a crowd.
They were so damn good. They were too good. And I know you won't hear this probably on your end, but I'm going to play this clip really quick. I'm possibly going to blow out everybody's ears going through the process, but when he hit right here, and then them singing his theme so clearly, so loud, so bold and proud. You know, what an awesome moment that was. I mean, that's why I like, the Cody Rhodes chants and all the things that we've had throughout the times. Last year, one of my favorite moments was AJ Styles going ahead and getting that reaction at Backlash. That was incredible. The
That was
ring
one of
was
the better reactions
shaking.
I've probably ever fucking seen. That was crazy with AJ
Absolutely.
Styles.
And you bring up a great point, Anthony. So Karrion Cross just went ahead and sent out a message to the fans of his, letting him know that, hey, there's been such a high request to have my merch sold at WWE live events that starting this Monday at Raw and going forward, I'm going to be going ahead and, I'm going to have my merch be sold in the arenas now because of the fans. He's like, maybe you don't always feel like you're being heard or you don't always seem like it matters, but it does. And they are listening. And the push that he's getting is very organic, very cool to see. So hats off to Karrion Cross. I love what he's got going on there, and he's got some badass merch. And for him to follow you on Twitter, or X, however you want to put it now, is pretty damn cool as well.
That's awesome.
Camera had to refresh. What's going on, Jordan? Appreciate you being here too. Yeah, I mean, Raw was not deserving of that audience. I mean, they went
No,
ahead
they,
and they gave those superstars every ounce of energy they could out of their lungs. That crowd from start to finish was incredible. I mean,
then WWE is like, all right, we got a good enough crowd. We don't need to put on a good show.
obviously the main event for the chicanery and how it all worked out, we knew it wasn't going to be a straight up match, but there's history between Braun Breaker and Jey Uso with the IC title and everything that transpired around there. So there was already a ton of interest in it. And then you get to see, eventually Logan Paul at the end lay out Jey Uso after we get Sammy and Punk coming down to save the day. Biggest pop I've heard
Yep.
in some time now, especially on a Raw show. They made that they made those people sound like 80,000, not 10,000. It was incredible. So hats off to them. The Sheamus and Grayson Waller match was fun. The
Austin
one
Theory just having a ball, just laughing at him the whole
and the
time.
fans are so behind him, and that's organic as well and happening naturally. So that's a pretty cool thing to see. And we we got a bit of a concerning back and forth between Logan Paul and Gunther. It was good. It was very good. Yeet. Shout out to Liz. What's going on? Yeah. And we went ahead and they kind of made Gunther a face here. It was a little bit awkward, and he's like,
Yeah,
if you take the title away from him, I'll take it personal because I have like essentially unfinished business. And I liked what he was
here's my
saying, but
thing.
yeah,
The only thing I would like about Logan beating Jay, because I think Logan and Gunther would put on a banger, just
yeah,
without a doubt. Like or hate Logan Paul, he's fucking great at his job in WWE. No one can take that away from him. And I
exactly.
thought the opposite. Remember, I went back to our chat 3 years ago, and
You
I'm
were
like, oh
not a
my
happy
fucking
man.
god,
You were
why is
not
Logan Paul
open
going to
minded.
WWE? I was not
But
having it at all.
how could I blame you for that? I mean, it makes perfect sense that you had those thoughts because, I mean, look at all the drama surrounding him still to this day now with all the crypto stuff. And I mean, it's a bad
He's
look.
in real life, he's a big fucking dipshit.
Yeah.
Let's
Well, you know
break
what?
that
He
on.
actually is smart. He's just so
He is
arrogant
smart, yes,
that it is like
but he
a like a negative overall. Like it hurts him because he
business
thinks he's
wise, he's
so
probably one
smart
of
that
the
he screws
smartest people.
himself.
Yeah,
Exactly. And the way it came across here, it really portrayed Gunther twice as the babyface because later on he talks to Seth in the back and they were kind of like, hey, you're going to be on our side kind of thing. And he was like, defiant. So I don't want them to make him a face. This is odd. And especially if it is going to build to the Bill Goldberg surprise, I'm not thrilled. But I did like the
unless
Penta and AJ match.
Goldberg heel.
I doubt he's going to want to
Oh,
retire as a heel, though.
but is the crowd going to be into Goldberg because no one seems to like him?
I mean, depending on who he's going up against, Nostalgia Act's going to hit hard. I mean, the fans will probably react loudly, but I don't know if they're going to care, honestly. I mean, his
Right.
retirement match, a spear and a jackhammer. Nice. You know, like, I was never into Goldberg because of how limited he was. Yeah, like the aura of him was
Uh,
cool, but they messed that up too.
the tag team match, oh yeah, Finn and JD versus Penta and AJ Styles. That was a great opener to Raw, by the way.
Oh, that was damn good. So good. And I even appreciate the, El Grande Americano costing, the match at the end. And it's like, hey, we even got Balor introducing Roxanne Perez. And now,
Chad
hey, is this
Gable,
going to be a
yeah.
problem because now he's got another female? She's giving him tendies or nuggets, anyways, no sauce. I know Paul was unjustifiably mad, but I think he's justified. That man likes chicken tendies, not nuggets, chicken tendies.
Yeah.
We know this, so she seems like a faux
Oh,
ally anyways. I at least
yeah,
appreciate
and
that
those
Julia.
nuggets look
Good.
fucking freezer burnt and all.
Mm-hmm. They look
It's
like
cutting
shit,
in
and
and
there was
out.
no
I don't know what's
sauce.
going on there, but
I'll see if I can mess around with it a little bit and
they like on.
see if I can
But
help you out a bit.
so
Hold on, ready? We'll
anyway, can
fuck
you
with the
hear me
bit rate.
clearly?
I can hear you loud and clear, so see if that helps you a little bit.
Yeah,
I
because
lowered the bit
you were
rate for
talking
you.
about a Grande Americano, then I was responding to that. Then I didn't hear you. Then you were talking about the backstage segment, I believe. So I was
See,
like,
so now we should be better,
fuck
I
is going
think. I messed around with some of the bit rates. So yeah, Penta and AJ killed it, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Great match. And Roxanne
Yes.
being added is a very interesting turn of events. It seems like she's
Here's my
going to be
theory.
a problem
I think
for Liv.
someone on Twitter pointed out that Raquel and Roxanne actually have a friendship history. So people are saying that Raquel's in on it with Roxanne being involved.
That would
Because
be
Raquel is going to do
interesting.
that out of jealousy. Because
Yeah.
if you see the last backstage segment, Raquel needed insurance, to be ensured like that. Liv still cares about her because Liv's not
Yeah.
contacting Raquel. She's only contacting Dominic, which is going
Exactly.
to create a jealousy of Raquel. And Raquel is going to end up forcing Liv, you either choose me or him because
Yeah,
he's getting
and she'll
in the
be a
way of
muscle
our
for a new
tag team.
female. Exactly. She'll go ahead now and, she'll be Roxanne's muscle. And now she's got no
So,
Dom.
and I
She's
think
got no
Roxanne, well,
Raquel. She loses
this will
everything.
turn Roxanne babyface eventually too, because Raquel's gonna realize, oh, I'm being used by Liv, and Roxanne's gonna be like, I'm being used by Finn. I think something's gonna happen there.
I don't
think
know if she'll turn face, but I do see what you're going at with there. I'm
I
not
think
sold that she'll go face. I think
Liv and
Balor and her are going
Liv
to
and Dom
possibly be
and
heels
Balor
still.
are gonna keep using people against each other until it just all boils over. And
You think? I think they might be
brawl for all
turning
happens.
Liv. I mean, she's already portrayed as a face, and they want Dom to be a
And
face
she gets
shortly too.
good
And Finn's
crowd
supposed to be
reactions, and
turning
he's
on him
getting.
at Worlds Collide, so
I
or
think the
something
original
like that.
plan was. I think the original plan was for Balor to turn face, but then Dominic out of nowhere just started getting these massive reactions, and they still haven't given him promo time in the ring. By the way, I don't understand why.
Yeah,
But and Liv always gets good reactions, right? For them, she always gets cheered. I've never heard a crowd boo her, honestly.
yeah.
So,
I know. Even when she was doing heel stuff, she still wasn't being booed. So that's the thing, and they know people may not cheer Dom, Liz, but that people want to. He's getting over as far as a babyface side.
you think Liv and Dom go face? That's your.
That's my take. I think that they're gonna make them go face. Maybe Raquel joins Roxanne, and I did
Balor.
at least
Do
appreciate
you
that.
agree with my take then on Raquel's in on
Yes.
it with Roxanne?
Yeah, that was a great take because I wasn't considering that. I was, but
Because
that makes a great deal of sense.
if you notice, everyone else seemed just confused, and Raquel had to be over the top. What is she doing?
Yeah.
She's not putting on a good poker face for it. I don't think.
No.
Because
So
why is she going
it
so
looked
over
like she
the
knew
top?
more than she let on, and was trying to be
Yeah.
intentionally, deceivious. But I'm at least invested in the story still. I want to know what happens. I just hope that it's not like, 300
Because
more episodes
here's
of this before anything happens. There,
the confusing part. This is the only confusing part with the face and heel turn. I'll let you talk in a minute. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but
no, you're
uh,
good. Go right ahead.
they make Finn like the heel in the backstage
I don't
segments,
not pay
but
you
then
for
they go
nothing,
on.
right?
Yeah, uh, I'll get that paycheck later.
You,
For the other thing as well. When we did that. Okay, we can't talk about that on there, but anyway. I think Finn Balor's thing is confusing because how commentary when he's on matches, they play him as the victim.
yeah,
But when he's in the backstage segments, he's acting like the heel. So
exactly.
they
And
have that
that's
all
the,
ass backwards.
but I think it's intentional because I think they want to have him portrayed in both ways. So it's like this deceptive nature in a way. Like, Finn wants to seem helpful in some regards, but really it's all an act and he's just waiting for his
Yeah.
time to really
So
strike.
Michael Cole thinks, oh, he's just trying to help Dominic, but doesn't realize the snake he is. And Finn Balor referred to himself as Backstabber Balor, right?
Yes.
So
Funny enough. So, and oh, the butt stuff. Oh, I forgot about that. That's
what?
just take the happy pills. Just
Okay.
you'll be fine. I upped your dose
But
too. But no,
you
I agree.
see
It is a
Finn's
little
reaction.
weird, but I think it's intended with Finn because I think they want him to be shown to be fake. He's got the facade,
Yeah,
he's got this mask on, and this is what they're going with.
You see that evil laugh when like Roxanne handed him those freezer burnt chicken nuggets.
Yeah,
He was like
nuggets.
smiling deviously. And
Fucking nuggets.
when Raquel said, "Wait until Liv hears about this," and Finn just started laughing like, haha, "I don't give a shit," kind of thing.
Yeah, I did say it before, Paul, as well. We made sure it was known that tenders. It's
So
tendies.
I'm really intrigued with what's going to go on there, but I don't want it to drag out. Are we going to still be in this December with Finn and Liv just feuding back and forth? That's unless Liv and Dom find a new member to add themselves, and they're both
It could be. I mean, there's so many different groups that want to be adding members at this point. It does
because
get a
Finn
little
said no new
overkill.
members, and then he says no new members, and he goes ahead and then adds a new member.
But she's not a member. She's just a ally to the Judgment Day. So that's how he got a little there. But yeah, you see the twinkle in her eyes, Anthony. Exactly. So we know what's going to happen. And same way Rhea got screwed, Liv's going to get screwed, and the history will repeat itself. I wish Balor was a face, but he's not. Moving on.
I don't think. Wait, you think Dominic betrays Liv this time, or
no?
Dominic knows better?
I think Roxanne and Finn are going to betray them and backstab Dom. And like you said, Raquel
and Liv's going to defend Dominic.
Yep, and Dom, I could see Liv and Dom going face, and then like we said, but Raquel, as you mentioned, quite brilliantly, Raquel's going to turn.
Raquel overpowers her because Raquel's going to demand Liv to choose on the spot.
Yeah,
it's either me or him, and then Liv's going to be like, "Then I choose Dominic," and then Raquel's going to beat her down.
Make your choice, exactly. So
I saw something funny on Dominic's Instagram post that all three, Liv, Rhea, and Roxanne, all liked his tweet. That's funny.
That is funny. Now, obviously, news of the night, as we brought up to each other pretty damn immediately, was Zoe Stark getting injured, and damn,
yeah, that looked nasty.
That was her bad knee already. So she landed okay at first, but then when she went into Kyrie, she basically the forward momentum became reverse momentum, and she was forced backwards, and she just crumpled on her bad knee already. And you see it in the slow-mo. I mean, it just collapses underneath her.
Looks so preventable too, unfortunately.
That's the thing.
I don't know where what Kyrie's. I'm not blaming it on her.
No,
anyone trying to blame Kyrie, don't blame it on her. But like the positioning was off for her to even jump like that. That could have been so avoidable, preventable. Like all that. Like I don't know.
I mean that little miscommunication, and now. I mean, I'm not being like hyperbolic saying her career's over, but she already had a bad recovery with her knee last time.
You never know how bad that looked. It looked her knee bent in every fucking possible form.
Every which way but north. That thing crumpled, and my heart broke for her, and it's just it's unfortunate.
And people keep complaining. I see on the timeline on Twitter, like, you have Kyrie come back just to have her eat the pin. I'm like, hello, probably the person that got hurt was supposed to eat the pin.
Zoe Stark. You know, it's
But
also
they
like
have
people
it.
online
Yeah.
being very, very instant to, again, being so hyperbolic and just exaggeratory because NXT ended up canceling the 5th show for Tampa. And
Right.
what it was is, oh, they only had like 1,700 tickets sold, but that's the 5th show in a row. You got SmackDown, Saturday night's main event. You got NXT Battleground. You got Raw, and then you had NXT. And it wasn't like it was it's just NXT Live. You know, the Battleground is almost sold out. They almost have 10,000 done now. But I can understand why people weren't exactly going nuts in the same market, 5 shows deep for NXT. So they're going to go back to their usual broadcast, the Performance Center. But I don't look at that as a defeat. AEW's done that before where they've gone to smaller arenas. And I told them that, hey, that's a smart decision. When you have a gigantic arena and there's no one there, it looks, sounds, all of it comes across as depressing. When you
Yeah.
have these, the Hammerstein Ballroom, when they've done, their lengthy stays, and it's come across quite well. Even some of the other shows have been good in these smaller arenas, and that's a way to do it. But yeah, almost too much wrestling this weekend, so that's why I'm kind of cutting through Raw. Besides the main event, Roxanne, Becky, and Natalya had a pretty damn good match, but it was, I like having Roxanne be, the one to make it there. So it's interesting with her Judgment Day, alliance. But all in all, it was just
It's
kind
going
of
to
a
help
bland
her in the
Raw.
long run, I think.
Yeah.
Roxanne. I think that was the biggest interest, I guess you could say, leading into next week's Raw. Like, I'm assuming Liv's supposed to return next week. No,
She's supposed to. We heard she was supposed to be back this week, but
she was supposed. Yeah, but then I could see, because remember we talked about like where she could be just left off, like goes silent on all them, and
yeah,
that's gonna have Finn question
it could be.
Dominic.
There's a lot of interesting ways where this can go, and that's the thing that makes it exciting, at least because like that's what I was going to mention before. Julia and Roxanne even had a quick little breakup angle in the back. Now Julia's on SmackDown, Roxanne is officially on Raw. Makes perfect sense. They couldn't get the job done, and she's like, no more rematches, no more nothing. I'm done with you, Roxanne. I'm done. And Julia walked away. Perfect, because even a few years ago with Vince, we wouldn't get that type of closure. We wouldn't get any
Yes.
type of storyline
And
explanation.
Since another women's tag team broke up, if you want to call them a tag team, burn the women's tag team championships, throw them in the garbage or whatever you got to do, because I'm sick and tired of having every fucking tag team be released or break up and then got nothing for it, and then
Buddy,
who
you're
are living
so
Raquel
right.
supposed to pay?
I mean, they
Well,
allowed
they're
her to
supposed to be
take the
breaking up too,
titles.
right?
Yeah,
They're probably breaking up too.
Why did they have the titles go ahead and stay on them? They could have put it on anybody. Why not done it, the night in NXT, anything, and just give it to somebody? Well, they were firing Gigi, so
Yeah,
unfortunately,
exactly.
but
Because
they knew the
because
writing on the wall
they're gonna
there.
break. They're gonna break up next. I'm assuming, right? Liv and Raquel,
Yeah.
and then
So now you have
what
Roxanne
tag
and
team do you
Raquel,
got left?
maybe, but I guess it just gets
Then
replaced
who are
with
they gonna face?
Roxanne. Yeah, who do you, there's just not a division. And then you have these mid-card titles, which, okay, we're going to get something good out of Saturday night's main event with
Maybe
that.
you can end up eventually, after the Becky and Lyra thing is over, maybe eventually down the line, Liv and Raquel feud for maybe the women's
that would be
Intercontinental title.
pretty ideal, and that's there's a lot to be made with these belts. I thought Becky was taking that. I thought it was going to be a Becky Hogan
I thought
moment,
she
but
was
I was
taking
wrong.
it at Backlash as well, and I think that's the only thing me and you both got wrong.
Yeah,
I
was
think
happily mistaken.
you think they called an audible because of the crowd reaction?
I don't think so. I think this was their intended plan, and now obviously we'll be getting more. So I think now it's when we get into predictions, we'll talk more. But now I think the story evolves with Bailey. So
one more thing on the Judgment Day take.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, hit me with it, buddy.
You know how last year the betrayals of everyone happened at SummerSlam, like Dom betraying Rhea for Liv and Finn betraying Damien, not Dominic. This year will be Dominic, but I think this SummerSlam, it's the same thing is going to happen. Like, I think Liv's going to maybe even a little bit, but not trust it. Like, all right, Roxanne can help us. But I think something happens at SummerSlam where both Raquel and Rox betray Liv, and then something happens between Finn and Dom where Finn betrays Dominic. I think the same
Yeah.
cycle happens at this
And
coming SummerSlam.
I was wrong. I said Worlds Collide. I meant Night of Champions is when they said Balor's supposedly turning on Dom, but I don't know how that.
When's the Night of
Goodness,
Champions?
that's
Is that the
July?
Saudi show? Is that the Saudi Arabia show?
I believe so. It's June 28th. So, because June
So we got Money
7th
in the
is
Bank.
Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, and then June 28th is that, and there's something with NXT in between as well. Yeah, like there's 9 shows in
I
the
guess
next
I
like
can see
3
it.
weeks or 4 weeks.
They need to do something at the Saudi Arabia show. I would personally have it done at Saturday night's main event, so something can happen.
Selfishly, I'm
instead of
pissed
it
we
being,
lost the goddamn Evolution show. I was really looking forward to that.
me too.
Not exaggerating
Me
at
too,
all.
because there's gonna
I
be a lot
love
of
women's wrestling, but I was really excited because they're supposed to be putting on like a 7-8 match card and gonna have some major matches on that. I'm really really upset that that's not happening. Yeah,
Me-
and Paul's going
me too,
gonna
I'm
be our
pissed.
in the area correspondent on the ground reporting for Raw on the 30th, and Liz is going to SmackDown coming up, so we're gonna be getting both her live take from there and then her return review as well.
Speaking about Raws, I don't know if you can, but we should try to look into it. Monday Night Raw is going to Rhode Island on July 7th.
Oh, that might not be a bad idea at all. We'll have to see. So I am upset that we're not getting Evolution, and it's so upsetting that the way it's been handled. It's like I get it, but SummerSlam is so damn expensive, and I mean so disgustingly fucking expensive. It makes me sick. Like genuinely, I'm not.
I was looking to go because I'm like, oh, it's in New Jersey. That's not
Yeah.
that far out for a SummerSlam. I'm like, I could do that. Then I look at the
I
ticket
really
prices,
wanted to
and I'm
go.
like, I can't do that.
No, $700 to sit behind the stage and miss everything and not see anything. Like
If I took my whole family
yeah.
to SummerSlam, might as well take a trip to Disney.
You're pretty much not wrong. You can get a Disney cruise for like $3,800 now, and you're spending $2,800 on 4 tickets. So
I'd rather spend the extra $1,000 for a few more extra days and a cruise.
I don't think you need a weekly all-women show. I really don't. To me, that seems to go against.
Speaking about the woman,
yeah,
people are upset that the women don't have a match at Saturday night's main event.
I thought we were getting Lyra and at one point I thought it was going to be Lyra and Becky again added to it, but then that suddenly just that's just a whisper. It wasn't actually happening, and it's like
I think they need to add a women's match because can you really?
I'm sure on SmackDown they can have Miss Tiffy Time go ahead and
like
Stratton
Tiffany
can add her
versus-
title, or why not go ahead and there's probably a few different things that could be added. You can have Zelina Vega defend her title. That would be pretty nice. I think that's a good way to start. I know she's doing I think it's a 6-woman tag on SmackDown coming up, but yeah, Saturday night's main event. I don't know necessarily that it always needs to be a requirement. Tiffany Stratton had a great main event with Nia Jax. She pulled an awesome match out of her. Nia being the first one to actually kick out of the prettiest moonsault ever was a really cool moment, and everything was built up too well. And poor Nia got her face busted open by that chair, but she took it in stride, and hey, shit happens. And since her most recent return, Spaz and I were talking about this earlier in the State of Wrestling. So once that's uploaded shortly, you guys are definitely want to go check that out. We're going deep into the TNA latest news, info, and predictions there. So this will be our quick ones on the live stream, but there you get the full detailed explanation. So make sure you check that out on the Spaz Phoenix Podcast YouTube channel. But yeah, just great match. I think they could do a her and Jade again, that kind of thing would be good. Or even, I mean, Zelina could face Chelsea Green again, damn it, in some type of stipulation match, and I would be happy.
I wouldn't mind that. And put the title back on Chelsea
Yeah,
Green, by the way.
I'm
Please.
easy to
Please.
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 I wish she never lost
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It was a heartwarming thing to see Zelina Vega, taking it to the
I'm
9/11
happy
memorial. Yeah,
I'm happy
cool.
that she got to do that. Like,
Yeah,
yes,
sweet,
she
but
deserved to do that. She
give the
deserved to
fucking
do
belt
that.
back now. You got your moment.
Yeah. And I'm not the biggest fan of Zelina anyway, never have, but like
She's
Zelina,
to me,
I don't
she's
know.
like she was good as a
And the
manager
crowd's
with
like
Andrade. That was probably the
crowd's like
best
dead
for
for
that.
her though.
Yeah, and
Yeah, she was.
she's never been that exciting in the ring. She's very small, so it's hard to make a lot of what she does, I feel, believable.
And
And small for like she makes Alexa Bliss kind of look like Andre at times. Small, so
yeah, the funny thing was with that Alexa Bliss and Zelina Vega thing, like you had, like you said, you had like Alexa Bliss looked like Andre the Giant with
yeah,
when
I
she
was
was next to
like,
Zelina
yeah, you get the holy
Vega.
shit
Then
chance the whole
she's
time. You're like,
then the difference when she's next to Charlotte Flair was fucking hilarious.
how could you not like Chelsea Green? Chelsea Green is one of the best characters that they have right now, as far as like character actors go. She is.
Who doesn't like Chelsea Green?
Liz said she's not a fan of her.
Huh?
I love her. Yeah, Zelina has a great look, but I agree, Paul. She doesn't have what I feel is up to snuff in the ring. Like when she had that match with Rhea in Puerto Rico, the fans made it exciting, but that was
This
like
is
what, a
my
6-minute
brutality.
match that was very, very bland. So it was just all for the namesake of it. What I will say, and I'm gonna sound like a goddamn huge mark here, but I'm being very legitimate. NXT was like a home run and a half. Fuck, a grand slam, touchdown, whatever metaphor you want me to use, sports analogy here, help me out. It was damn good, like damn near perfectly good. And even the ridiculous segment that was in the back with our lovely GM Ava, like that her going full Cartman, that was something. But the opening match proves what NXT is. Like this opening triple threat epitomizes the brand in every possible
Yeah.
way. So Javon Evans, the young blood, he comes out bouncing. Everybody loves him. Ashanti the Adonis, like everybody's not a huge fan, but he's a name that people know, so he gets a reaction. And anytime Spaz is right. Anytime you have more than one agile guy, you need a powerhouse to have them bounce the fuck off of, and that's exactly what we got. Sean Legacy. I haven't seen hardly anything from him. I've seen one match of his on the Tubi special for Evolve. He came out to the most bland, just non-entity of music, and just the Tron just said Sean Legacy, and that was it. And I was like, oh, all right, that's kind of cool. They're going to give him a showcase spot. But I figured, all right, Javon's got this in the bag. No one cheered or clapped or gave him really any type of the fans were polite, but they just didn't know who he was. Respectfully, though, they weren't rude. At the end of this match, it was so goddamn good. You got fight forever chants. This is awesome. Holy shits, all the usual, but they were cheering for Sean Legacy like he was stone cold, maybe not to that caliber, but you get my point. Like these people, he got them over. Like this was an incredible opener, triple threat, all of it. Some of what we saw here was so innovative and well done. The near falls every time, like, oh wow, here we go. Here's the finish. Ashanti's got it. Oh my God, Legacy comes out of nowhere. Oh, Javon's it. And they're both so fast. And at one point in time, Sean hit. I don't even know what to call it. It was like a Spanish fly, but not. And he just took Javon down, and I thought that was it. That was an incredible maneuver. I should know the name, but Hangman and Ospreay face-off was great. Yes, I did not see Dynamite yet. Like I said, I have not watched a live Dynamite in like 3 weeks. I have gone back to watch the highlights because it just hasn't been grabbing me, but I'm getting more. Basically, I was like,
I'm starting to debate what show is worse now, SmackDown or Dynamite.
SmackDown hasn't been great, but like I said, they did well with that main event. I did enjoy Nia and Tiffy, but yeah, that triple
I want to
threat
give Nia
opening
her
was
flowers
incredible.
real quick because Nia has gotten a lot better.
She
Holy
has.
shit, she
We were just singing her praises earlier. She's no longer injuring people. She's working,
and if
very well,
she
and
wants to
the
go,
work rate and
she'll
ethic
put
is
on a
there.
banger for you.
Yeah. And
And
she's willing to put people over and make them look great. It's not about her, and she's finally really been able to develop the character of Nia Jax. Like, now it makes sense. Before, the stupid "my hole" and all the bullshit that followed her, like, oh, 1 minute she's Godzilla, then she wants everybody to love her because she's been bullied, and it was like so bipolar in the way she was booked that
yeah,
it was a turnoff for her character. When they reintroduced her as, hey, I'm a big bitch that's going to hit hard and people aren't going to be able to stop me. And then she was the champion. Tiffany protected her. Then Tiffy got the turn. Great story told. They're still having a cool rivalry. Joe Hendry's concert was great. Obviously, I am a damn mark for Hendry. He's my guy. I can't get enough of Sir
you
Hendry.
believed?
I did believe, and he cut one hell of a concert. It was very funny to bring up Carmelo's bitch and bring up the the Halloween footage, making Trick look like a total pussy. Trick's rap was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was just, again, both this Joe Hendry repeated himself a lot too, but Trix went on for like an extra minute and a half of just the same two lines, and it was like, all right, let's get
Now
this,
getting to
let's
see
get this
both,
done.
we were comparing it last week. What was better overall, when The Rock did his rock concert and Cena did his rap, or when Joe Hendry did his concert and
Oh, I think the
Trick did his
Rock's
rap?
still got yeah, Hendry I love, but the Rock's original rock concert when he was a heel, oh, ripping apart the audience was so good. So damn good. Yeah, look
Yeah,
at Joe Hendry and CM Punk. Yeah, right. Training together, learning from the best. Yeah, you are, guys. That's a
Rock was so much better when he was younger, but then he became a Hollywood sellout, so
they
now he has to act all.
they got Ace back in there. Yeah, Trick's rap was pre-recorded. Yeah, and it was just like
Oh, it
the
was.
same things over and over and over
I need to
again.
go
Like,
back and
he was
watch
like
this stuff
rapping
still.
over it briefly. It wasn't bad, but it was just karaoke, as where like at least Hendry's actually playing and singing. There was just a
Would
little
you
bit more
recommend
entertainment to
me
it.
when I go back and watch it? Would you recommend me going back and watching the
Yeah, I would
concert
say
and the rap
watch them
battle?
both. I think you'll like you have to watch both to appreciate how it ends. And I won't spoil it
Right.
entirely for you, but it does go ahead and get a little bit dicey. So, my highlight of the entire night though was Obafemi and Miles Bourne. They had a fucking amazing face to face.
I like Obafemi a lot. I think
Obafemi
he's
is so
so
good, and the
fucking
way he
great.
spoke here, he wasn't like tearing Miles down, but he was speaking himself up. I'm the ruler, the breaker. I will just, I threw in the towel on LFG. It's like, oh, I will destroy you all. I can, he was just confident, but he was at the same time building and singing the praises of Miles for what he did. But he's like, that was your dream moment, winning the battle royal, because you're not going to take my title. And Miles had this just great. Yeah, Ace Steel is teaching Hendry which part to bite. Exactly. Always go for the meat. You want to get in that shoulder. Got to keep those teeth strong.
Oh yeah.
Me and my dentures. Oh God. So we go ahead, and Miles then reiterates his original points, but he did it in a way that he's not just the one note trick of like, "Hey, I'm deaf or hard of hearing." It's not going to be a constant. They said they kind of wanted to go a little heavy-handed, I guess, early on, because you can tell there's some type of, issue there by the way he speaks. So they wanted to just be like, here, it's out in front of me. This doesn't define me. Fuck you all. I got this. And
Right.
he cut just a amazing, he's like, I'm going to be a champion for people with disabilities, and I hope that's not his entire shtick. It doesn't feel like it. But I think they're gonna eventually, like ogres and onions, they'll add layers. But the way he was able to command the audience's attention from Oba was very, very telling. This guy is going to be something massive. In another 2 years' time, I can picture him like really being a household name. Kalani Jordan and Zarya had a match, and if Kalani won, she ends up getting a match against Sol for her title this Sunday at Battleground. And of course, Zarya ends up getting inadvertently thrown into Sol. And are we going to see them turn on each other? I hope not. Unfortunately, with her winning the singles title, I wish these two had the women's tag titles. I know I said it to death, but I agree. Coot head indeed. I wanted them to have the tag titles and just destroy everybody. It was going to be easy booking and tons of fun. What they used to call my aunt. She was a 500-pound stripper, but
Oh, yeah,
runs in the family, and just yeah. Please sing voices as Miles. Yeah, I can't cancel myself. Yeah, but boy, and you know what the funny part is? Like,
Oh, come on.
with my mom being deaf and dealing with it our whole life, and her, like I said, she's been, so harassed and treated shitty by people for the most innocuous and like mundane of reasons, and people have no patience for disabilities in general, and it's a sad. So I it is a sad thing, but I appreciate how they're portraying this, and I'm enjoying his rise in stardom. You had also Ricky Starks, Saints. I got to get that locked in my head. Going ahead, and he was on commentary, not saying much, but he's watching that opening triple threat, and that's when all ego, Ethan Page, comes down, jumps behind from the barricade, and they just brawl. They end up getting taken in back by security, and Ricky says he's going to put the title on the line Sunday so they can have a match. And that's basically it worked. Ego got in his head and got his title shot. So it was a real, cunning stunt type maneuver, but I appreciated it. I would watch the Sean Spears Josh Briggs match. I really appreciate what they're kind of doing here with Briggs being like focused on Inamara not being there anymore. It's a good story for them to tell. I imagine he will be joining the Culling, it seems like, or would be
You
good.
think so?
It would be cool. And then Fallon
I don't mind
Henley,
that. I mean, like,
yeah, she took on Lola Vice. It was a fun match. It was all about getting heat between Fallon and JC Jane. They were bickering at each other backstage, and that's how she got roped into this match to begin with. It was again, like I said, just a really good episode of NXT. OTM, they took on Dixon and Uriah from the new form Chase U and got the shit beat out of him quickly. It was a pretty fun squash. But I would say, yeah, there's not much you shouldn't watch on this show. I would pretty much say go through and check out everything.
was this another week where NXT was better than Raw again?
Oh yeah, it was entertaining, and the pacing was really, really good. And Ava, when she's berating,
That's something I've always liked about NXT as well. The pacing, I think.
it's not like super rapid pace all the time. Like you get the frenetic and frantic moments of like the triple threat going crazy.
But I think it's paced better than the main roster shows, honestly.
Especially SmackDown.
Because SmackDown, oh my god, I might give AEW an edge a little bit, saying
I can't.
Besides this week,
tolerate
last week's SmackDown.
And I know people say, oh, if you can book 2 hours, you can book 3, but they just don't have whatever the reason is over there. They just don't have it. I don't know if it's the writers, if it's just because they have a smaller talent pool compared to Raw, but they cut down on time, the better, because when they were doing the 2-hour shows, it was going very well. Things were exciting. And I know that's not going to solve every
now
problem, but
it was supposed to be done soon. Now they have the June listings of SmackDown all as 3 hours.
yeah, so we got to see what happens. But I've also heard that was improper listing too, that it is over and that's not. So it's going back and forth. We'll see what happens.
So when's
when
the
it
last
happens.
3-hour show supposed to be?
It was supposed to be the one Liz is going to, not this week, but the week after, the last one in May. So we'll see. I mean, like you said, I saw the listings. It said 3 hours, but then I've also heard that that's not true. So
SmackDown for a while before Raw went to Netflix was arguably like the better show.
Yeah.
Out of the two, then it just switched. Raw was good, had a good little stretch
Yeah,
like a
Raw was
great
doing
show,
good
great
for
show,
a
great
bit,
show.
and then they
Not
went
now.
ahead.
It's
Raw had a bit of a struggle this week. Like I said, it had a bit of an identity crisis. So May 30th, yeah, that's the one
last
she's
week.
going to.
Last week too was like we were talking about, was like decent,
Yeah,
and they like fucked up with the Grayson Waller and Sheamus thing, going about it two different ways,
yeah,
saying how Austin Theory was like, I talked to Adam Pearce, and next week you're supposed to have the match you were supposed to have against Sheamus,
yeah.
and
You're
then
supposed to
Sheamus
go ahead
a few
and
segments later, can I have a match against Grayson Waller? Oh, it's official.
I love that scale. He gave it a 7.5 out of 8 for NXT, Paul. I appreciate that. So, yeah, that's how I felt. Like it was like 9 out of 10 worthy for the most part. That goddamn opening match, you have got, if you don't have time for anything else, please just go back and watch that opening triple threat. Excuse me. I cannot sing its praises enough. But yeah, that is just so damn good. It was so entertaining. We're going to kind of, do our little quick transition here as we switch over to prediction time. We got to set the mood, my friend. That's right.
Dim the lights, get the candles.
Oh, we can bring it
Oh,
down nice
not-
and low.
not for
See,
that.
I can control the lights now. All on the. There we
How
go.
low can
Gotta
you
make
go?
Oh, I can go low. And I can go super bright too. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
so. But we're gonna have a good time this week because we've got so much wrestling. It's coming out of my damn ears and eyes. We're
I thought it
starting
was
off.
coming out of somewhere else.
Well,
but
that's for the private show. But
anyway, let's get to the predictions.
yeah, we're starting off strong because TNA's coming out of the gate with Under Siege. Look at that, right over my face there. And Under Siege is kind of a intended B show. And not in a negative either, am I saying this? They, it's pretty much set up to be the precursor for TNA's title being defended at Battleground. They went ahead and set this up pretty nicely with the main event. But we'll start at the bottom, work our way up, my friend. We got Matt Cardona taking on Steve Macklin for the TNA International Championship. Macklin, he's the champion. It'll be his second defense. I want Matt Cardona to win this. Do I think he'll win? Probably not, but I'm picking Matt Cardona. Who do you got?
That's a good one because I think, I don't know.
Matt Cardona is,
You
I
think-
know there just for a cup of coffee, people feel like, but he's been pretty
that's why
consistent.
That's why I feel like, though, because he's more. Do you think he wins this?
I want him to. I think it basically is the digital media title now turned into the international title, and that's as close to Zack Ryder as you're gonna get. So give him this thing and let him
I guess
heal
you're
with
right.
it for a bit. I think it'd be fun.
But do you think he eventually? People still say he's coming into WWE. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but he's trying anyway.
We'll see. I mean, apparently he was talking with Chelsea, and I don't know, but yeah, this is
That's
this
why
is
I was
more like I said, like a B show feel.
To be there long term, right? Because
yeah, I think if they were going to go ahead and turn anybody, and I'm going to go ahead and say, like I said, this would be a good match to go ahead and have a title change here. So I don't think there's probably another
right,
spot where this would happen.
give
I
me
want to
Matt
see
Cardona.
Damn straight. Look
Give
at
me
that. I
Matt
talked you into it. Now, the next match, we have Ash and Heather by Elegance, the women's tag team champions, the Knockouts title. They're taking on Danny Luna and Jody Threat, Spitfire. But the deal is here. If Spitfire lose, they break up for good.
Ooh. We were talking about Spitfire again, like speaking about those.
Yeah.
Against Liv and Raquel.
Yeah.
We were talking about
They
we
would
should
have
do
been
that
great
and have them
opponents, and it would have been a lot
unify
of
the
fun.
titles, and that way we can get rid of the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Sorry, I'm so eager
No,
to get
because
rid of them.
you're damn right, though, because they're not being used ever. I mean, think about how much of a negative aura has been around those damn belts and how many problems they've caused. Going all the way back to Sasha and Bailey up till now. I mean, those belts have just been frickin' cursed. I'm telling you. So I think Spitfire lose here, and they're going to split up. I think Ash and
You think
Heather.
so?
Yeah, I think they're holding on to the belt still. I think they're keeping those knockout world tag team titles a bit longer. And I think this is how you split up Jody and Danny and let them go into singles action, because they've been a tag team for a good while now. So
That's fair.
that's my kind of poorly rough estimated guess, but
you, you, I don't know if they break them up yet, though. I'm gonna go with Spitfire.
All right. I like the dissension in the ranks, my friend. Then we have a singles match, straight up, no bullshit. AJ Francis, Flop Dollar himself, taking on Mike Santana.
He doesn't like me.
Oh, I know. That's
seen him on Twitter.
that's why I had to mention the Flop Dollar comment. Yeah.
Yeah, remember he went at me.
He was ready to rip your
He
head
wasn't
off.
happy with.
No.
Yes, he was.
He wanted to fuck you up and maybe fuck you. He was really pissed. And I figured, all superstars could take a joke, but he took that so personally. It was like you raped his dog in front of him.
He was going to kill me. I was like, oh, God.
I forget exactly how you worded was it tweet or Instagram?
It was just it was a joke about like when he botched the move. It was,
but where did
was
it on Twitter or was it on Instagram that you put this out?
Twitter.
Okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember exactly, and I remember like it was just a total shit show though. He kept coming after you like again
I think the
and
whole
again
hit
and
row
again.
because I think like the whole hit row did not like me.
Yeah. Oh,
Shit row.
Swerve wanted to fuck you up too. There, he was causing some problems. I
didn't like him. I like Swerve now. Maybe he's forgiven me, but
I just
fuck all of them.
I can't help but laugh because I remember looking back and I'm like, you were getting so much just like fucking heat over what was clearly a joke tweet, and
AEW
they just kept coming back at you.
Especially.
Yeah,
bro. I always Tony Khan.
You're the most like nonchalant and unassuming guy, on here. You're just all, and then you're like the biggest crazy control online with everything.
I don't know why everyone.
The dichotomy between the two Codys and the fact that
you see my Twitter. You've seen what I've done with it. I like to fucking troll on there now.
You've amassed a nice following of pissing people off. That's for sure. And speaking of pissing people off, did you
don't let George know that because
I think you're picking Mike Santana with that one, right?
Yes,
I'm going as well, Mike.
Fuck that guy.
So speaking of pissing people off, with my amazing segue, Tessa Blanchard going ahead and taking on Ariana Grace, Santino's daughter. Spaz said it earlier. She's gonna die. Like, how does Tessa not just fucking murder her here? That has to happen. Ariana's, this tiny petite thing basically that doesn't wrestle often, and Tessa's a racist. That's, And I'm actually one that's sick of the she's a racist. Like, if you guys are chanting that. You're making TNA look bad. You're making yourselves look bad. Like you're not getting a point across. They're not going to fire her.
Stop that.
Yeah, like it's just making everybody look ridiculous. So I think Tessa wins here. She's going to murder Ariana. I'm telling you.
Tony. Yeah, there was like Matt Hardy in this thread. I had to go back to that.
Oh yeah.
Like they were all mad at me.
With
the Tony Khan thing. It was with Christian Cage.
When he
debuting.
When he debuted, and they were like making it sound like John Cena was coming in,
like the biggest thing in wrestling or whatever.
And Christian is a great get for them at that point, but it wasn't, it wasn't, John Cena like they made. Yeah,
you get my
Roman
Twitter,
Reigns.
like that's why the Rhea Ripley fans hate me because, like,
the Liv fans
I like
love
Liv,
you.
but they,
that's what matters.
But, the Rhea fans, they actually think Rhea sucks. Come on.
Yeah,
I don't
actually
hate Rhea. It's a shtick, and you know my shtick on there with that.
Oh, I know your stick. Oh, you said shtick. Sorry, I thought you said stick.
Oh yeah.
Gonna get me in trouble.
Stick it in.
Speaking of sticks, we got two
Rhea
big dicks.
Rhea fans, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back to this real quick because there's another encounter I had with Rhea fans tonight.
Oh, a new one. Do share.
Yes, they said I'm a loser. I'm an asshole. In Spanish, by the way. So
Ooh,
I have the
mommy's
translator
coming down for your heart, huh?
Yeah, because Rhea fans don't understand. Like, you can like multiple wrestlers at the same time.
Nope.
Yes, I'm a Liv Morgan
You
fan,
can only like Rhea Ripley. That's it. It's all you're allowed to.
or I'm in trouble.
Wrestling Twitter is going to come down.
Have you seen
they'll
those
lay
Rhea
down the
fans?
law. They're
Like,
a dedicated bunch.
yes.
I'll say that much. I made a joke tweet years back when she first joined Judgment Day, and it was because she had her hair really short, and I forget, it was some comment between like her and Finn. It was basically like making them twins. It was something silly. Oh, it was like 200 comments under this tweet of just like, "You're a fat piece of shit, go die." Like, oh my God. It was like, thanks.
Scary.
I feel very welcomed now. They're like, I see where you're not far from me. Like, you get all these threats. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
I made a clear joke, but what's not a joke is who the fuck booked this match? I hate this shit sometimes. So this is the kind of stuff that bothers me. We have Eddie Edwards taking on friggin' Cody Deaner. But if Deaner wins, he gets a new TNA contract. So it's not
that's
like
me, by the way. It's Cody.
See,
so
I knew it. Again, with you being everybody. No,
if you ask George,
have it make sense for me here.
Cody in the name.
He's not a new talent, so you don't need to like, oh, he's going to earn his TNA contract. He's already a TNA star.
That makes
So you're just rehiring him. You're just renewing his contract, but you're making him win to do so. So it makes the company kind of look shitty here. And why is Eddie Edwards the company man that's keeping you from being re-signed? I just wish the stipulation was,
something just seems off with that match. I think that's just like thrown together. Let's just come up with the stupidest idea ever and put it on mix it all together and put it on a plate.
All the Rhea fans telling me to go die. I was already doing that on my own. They didn't even have to fucking try and send threats to me. I was doing enough work myself. Oh God. But yeah, I think Cody obviously wins. Right, Cody?
Thank you. Yes, I won.
This is, again, folks, this is your foregone conclusion of the night. We need to make that a shirt, definitely. But yes, this singles match is going to be won by Cody because, of course, he needs his contract. Yep. Then,
yes, I do.
We have the current TNA Tag Team Champions, the Namath brothers. So Dolph and Ryan, Nick and Ryan Namath, and Leon Slater. Because Jeff Hardy can't go to Canada due to
things.
Yeah, stuff, shit. So
yeah,
I would love this if the tag titles weren't on the line. Because if they had Hardy and Slater win, it's like, well, now what? When they come back, does he just give Jeff the belt? Or are you going to do some stupid Freebird rule? I mean, Spaz and I were trying to work it out with logic, and it just doesn't really have it here. And again, it's a B show. It's just supposed to be fun. It's a title defense. Yeah. But it just doesn't set up great. And Leon's a perfect fit here. So just have it be a friggin' tables match. Don't put the titles on the line, though. Wait for the titles when you could do it Matt and Jeff again, if that's the plan. Because Leon shouldn't be a tag team wrestler. He needs to be a singles guy. Somebody needs to catch him, but he needs to take Moose's title coming up soon. That needs to happen. He needs to dethrone him. It needs to be done. And then, how do you not have the champs retain here? Because you're just not formulating a new tag team and having it stick. So, again, foregone conclusion from the booking committee. What do you think? You think they're going to let Matt and Leon, now Jeff Hardy win the titles, or are the Ziggler boys retaining?
I think, the Ziggler boys, as we like to call them now, are going to retain.
They're going to hold on.
And aren't the Hardys supposed to be doing like a summer run soon with WWE? I heard
that was the rumor. So we'll see if it comes to fruition. But what's not a rumor is my distaste for this next match, because who do I despise? It used to be that I really hated Lesnar, but then above that somewhere was Nia for a while. Like she was real that go-away heat. But one above all else for me was always the now Victoria Crawford taking on Masa Slamovich for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Is the former Alicia Fox, now going as Victoria Crawford. I
Oh
never
God,
enjoyed Alicia
Alicia
Fox.
Fox.
She
She's a WWE legend,
she
apparently.
was a
to WWE.
diva in the times of when the women were like finally starting to advance, like when she was, Bella number 3, the black Bella. Like
She
what?
was teaming with the Bellas, wasn't she?
Yes, I was
I
reminded
do
of that
remember that.
earlier. Thankfully, Spaz imprinted that on my memory again. Jesus, but it was a disaster of a time. She couldn't wrestle. She had no in-ring ability. The little freak out
And
she
now it's
would have.
2025, and let's ask this: has she improved in the ring at all?
No, and everything that I've seen from indie times now, it just I'm telling you, like this is the one I could not stand. She was just continually given these crazy opportunities and then proceeded to fail. When she was doing the freak out gimmick, former co-host that I would work with was going nuts over that shit. And I was like, why? Because she threw some popcorn and went ahead and, like I don't get I didn't get the hype around it then. I still
Yeah,
don't understand it. But she was like an actual like -5 star to me, like the true
yeah.
unicorn.
Not
There was never even Naya, like there's stuff that she's done that I've enjoyed, and now it's gotten better. But like I on the spot
Nia.
and lack
Here's
of
the difference
sleep.
between Alicia Fox and Nia Jax. So,
Yeah,
Nia Jax has actually shown improvements. Like she actually cares about getting better, and Alicia
yeah.
Fox is still.
I mean, there's not one thing that stands out about Alicia Fox besides her having drinking problems. That's what I remember, sadly. Excuse me.
Well,
And
but we can't say people aren't good.
Bellas
We
and
can't have
shit,
opinions anymore,
exactly.
though. It's 2025. So
uh,
Alicia Fox, I'm sorry for all the Alicia Fox fans out there.
what was the name
She's
of
the best
All Red
wrestler to ever
Everything?
grace the earth.
What was her?
The
Eva
all red
Marie.
everything.
Eva Marie.
Eva Marie.
She had more in-ring prowess and quality than even Alicia Fox to me. So I
And
am
that's
not
saying
excited about
something.
this match at all. I'm telling you. Sorry to
And that's
say it,
saying
but
something. Like, imagine Eva Marie being a better wrestler than you. Like, then you should. That means you have to
yeah.
hang up the boots.
So Masha's
Go
gonna
find a different
destroy her.
profession.
Masha better just make this bitch bleed from her mouth.
We
She
can
should
agree
knock
on
all
this
her teeth
big
out.
time.
Yeah, if you didn't agree with me, then I was gonna forcibly make you agree, or I was gonna have to up your dose of the happy pills because I swear to fucking God, if she would,
I'm sorry. You were gonna bring the banana out again.
and if I went ahead and I see her win, I think I might have an aneurysm. But finally, the reason why
You're
we're
gonna blame
here,
me, aren't you? Because you're gonna
I
think
would
right
blame
away.
you.
Cody is everyone, and he booked this.
I would absolutely take the happy pills. So
I
Joe
am
Hendry and
everybody.
Elijah, who is just doing it right, Hello, I am
Wait,
Elijah.
just with these predictions real quick. So
Yes.
since I'm everybody, are we just predicting me wrestling myself all night?
Yeah, you're just going to continually go ahead and if you kick out though, do you ever get a 3 count? Like it's you're
I
going to
don't know.
break my brain. I'm
So if
excited
I
for
get
this main
pinned though,
event though.
but I'm winning, but I'm getting pinned, but I'm pinning myself. So do I win
Yeah.
or lose?
Oh, again, the brain thing. Not,
I don't want to. I don't
yeah,
want to
no.
break your brain too much.
So we got the only Trick Williams, of course. And he's taking on a partner in the name of Frankie Kazarian to go against Joe Hendry and Elijah. I think Trick and
You
Frankie
believe?
win. I don't believe that night. I think Hendry's losing to set up him
Really?
winning on Sunday. Yes, a little bit of a spoiler for Battleground, but I think he'll retain then, but he's going to have to get beat here to give Trick an edge. I think Hendry's going to not get pinned. Elijah will get pinned. But
You think so?
Trick is going to pin Elijah, yes. And Trick shot, pin, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a very good match. They're going to focus on Hendry's shoulder and really roughing him up to set up the peril that he's in on Sunday. And they're making a huge deal, which it is a huge deal, that the TNA title is being defended on a WWE, pay-per-view premium live event. So crazy.
And
It
a
really is.
WWE superstar is TNA champion. I guess you can go with it. So they're gonna make
Right.
that a whole thing.
So What do you think's going to
I
happen
don't
here? Do you
know.
think Hendry and Elijah win? Do they lose? What do you make of this?
I gotta believe.
You gotta
You know.
stay with it. You know, you can't diss the Hendry, right? I
So
feel you.
I think Joe Hendry and Elijah, take the dub.
You think they're gonna win? All right, I can
Yeah.
give you that. We can go from side to side, but I think they're losing. I think that's just how I think it's gonna come down to in that moment.
I just can't see a world where a WWE superstar is holding onto the TNA championship. But then again, that would be contradicting my point where I say Liv and Raquel should lose the tag team title because it's the same thing. Like TNA stars won. So I guess I could see it, but I'm still sticking with Joe and Elijah.
You're still, hey, you believe, you stay with it. On the other hand, I think he's getting beat in that moment. Well, Elijah will, but it's happening. So, and speaking of happening, that's wrapping up Under Siege. I mean, it's going to be a great show. I think, tempered expectations, know what you're getting into. It's a B show, but it's going to be fun. And that's what we're there for, to have fun.
Yes.
But it's not fun. Heel John Cena.
We have fun every night.
It's not been great. Heel Cena has been a bit of a disappointment.
And
but
I still blame Dwayne Johnson on that.
yeah. It's just it's not been, the story's not there for me yet. And seeing Cena take on R-Truth, it should be like a huge deal. It should be a big thing. But it doesn't feel like
main issue is the promos. Like it just seems too forced how Cena's talking. You people are.
It hasn't really, like some of the back and forth he had with Cody was good, but that's because Cody gave him a person to go against, and Cody's not infallible like Cena was. So it was weird though having Cody repeatedly be like, "But you're my hero still. I still love you." Like it, and now he's been gone forever, making Cody look like a bitch. I hated that, and that match left a lot to be desired. You knew as well. I mean, that Mania match, we've seen what we've gotten from Cody's matches. We know what it should have been, and Travis Scott did not
The
need
only
to be
thing
involved.
about that match that was correct was the winner.
Yeah.
The only thing correct about that match, was the winner.
Had the match been shit, but he turned at Mania, just the shock of, oh my God, John Cena turned heel would have saved it. Because
I didn't mind the turn at Elimination Chamber at first. Because
Chamber, that review, my buddy Patrick being here, we're triple hitting the carts because we're so shocked. Like, what? No way. How is this a thing? And oof.
I was the one that was originally calling it a few weeks before it happened. Remember, I just texted you randomly, call me nuts, but I think Cena's going heel.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know. I think you're on the goofy juice because you got to lay off that nitrous, and you ended up still on nitrous, but you were really high, but you were right. I mean, so I can't argue with the effects. Here's the thing. R-Truth continually defending Cena and then getting put through a table, and now he wants to challenge him, but it's still, the story isn't working. They had a way to get there with this. Because, they had multiple ways,
R-Truth,
but this story
seems too
sucks.
Sensible in this. I need to beat the sense out of Cena to get him back into reality. Like, you're making R-Truth sound too smart.
Exactly.
Like, because he's supposed to be oblivious.
A bit oblivious,
he's supposed to be like,
they could have done it even like a bit just, hey, John, what the fuck happened to you? Maybe I do need to knock some sense into you, like that. But they didn't even really do that. Like they just made him, like you said, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like R-Truth.
I think Truth could have, I think this is still happening too soon because, knowing Truth, he would think it's some initiation into the C Nation.
That's why I don't pay you the big bucks, but wish I could, because you just nailed a great thought for me there. Goddamn, bud, that is a great point, and I give you the 10-bill salute. I owe you a few.
Because remember how many beatdowns Judgment Day gave R-Truth, and he just kept thinking they were initiations.
Exactly. And but you just said how many. That was the point. Here's the biggest issue. Not only was WrestleMania delayed this year, if you would call it that, scheduled later, but having it in that later period made everything else afterwards suffer for it, because now everything is rushed and crammed together. We're on a 2-week build schedule every week. Yeah, you remember Randy Orton and John Cena's feuds growing up and how much you loved those? And it's funny how I hated most of their feud growing up and all the wrestling history. And then it's like it's nostalgic, yeah, but most of their matches back then, face Cena, especially when he was in his
Uh,
Super Cena's phase, like early on, their matches were better.
really, who would have thought that
Yeah,
the best match out of those two would have taken place in their later years?
exactly. Go figure. So, not expecting that to happen, but here's the thing. Like you said, it feels like a half gear. Absolutely. Because it is not fully grasped into anything, but we have to keep rushing to everything else. So, it's like we're not going fast enough, but we're trying to speed up as much as possible. And it's like, why? Why do we need this many shows? Why do you need they could easily just not have had, anything and just stayed the course and had Saturday night's main event have more, And why did we need and still have backlash and I know it all comes down to tickets and money and I get it, but I feel like there's nothing that cements them having to do it at that date times. Like, yeah, maybe they can only get the arenas or whatever, sure, but it's their schedule. They can space things out better. And cramming these things in makes everything feel less than stellar because you don't have a chance to absorb any of the story, any of the elements. I mean, think about if Roman was just tearing through people as fast as this, like Cena was, we would have gotten through 4 years of content in 6 months' time. I mean, think about how many, weeks we went on with Roman and dealing with things and taking our time and building and tension, multiple manias of him winning. I mean, we thought Cody was winning at 39 and then he gets beat by Solo
Which
Sikoa, like in a chicken.
I think for the time, I think it was the right outcome for Roman to win
Absolutely.
because Cody had to face some struggle. I had to face
And the
struggle.
whole year, the
I
way
was
it
in that
built up
moment.
was fucking perfect. Everything he had to go through with Lesnar at first, and
I
it was
know
a
I had
great
the
story.
brutal times for me.
Yeah, I know. So, John Cena, R-Truth. Obviously, it's Cena. That's not even a prediction. Now, here's what
Is
I
it
want
for
to
the
know.
title?
It is for the title. So,
Uh, I was gonna say I could see R-Truth winning if it wasn't.
it says singles match, but then I also saw it listed as world championship. So, WWE championship, excuse me, universal, whatever the fuck they call it now. So,
Is it
either which
because
way,
they always switch it. It's like different name every week. It's the undisputed one week. It's the
yeah.
Universal the next. Then it's the WWE Championship again.
Yeah, I
They
think it's
can't
still the
figure out a fucking
undisputed
name for
one,
that
but
title.
it's just all over the map. What I do want to know is your thoughts first on the steel cage match. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. These two took a nothing fucking feud and made it must see again. Drew does
Yeah.
this. I
Yes.
mean,
This is actually
whew,
really entertaining. I think this is going to be a really good match, but I
yeah.
think you need to keep up with Drew McIntyre's momentum. And Damian Priest, I think, can afford the loss more than Drew McIntyre can right now. So I do think Drew wins.
See, that's the issue that I'm having here is that neither man really can afford to lose here. Damian Priest has been just on a downward trajectory after losing, the title. He got it at Mania, held on to it a little bit, and then that was it. Bye-bye, see ya. So since then, he's basically just floundered. And Drew, he had that feud of the year with CM Punk, but he lost in the end. And then it was like kind of nothing for him for a bit. And it just kind of, Mania felt like it passed him by in a way. I know we got stuff, but it wasn't as massive as it could have been between these two. And
Right.
so this match feels bigger. They definitely elevated the feud. I appreciate what we got beforehand, but this match is going to be brutal. But I think Drew has to win. Like I said, neither man can afford the loss, but Drew needs it more. I feel like. I think Priest can gain, yeah, exactly. The character development of him losing and then having to rebuild himself could be a really kind of cool redemption story. Now, here's my next question for you, sir. Who do you have between Jey Uso and Logan Paul?
I think Jey Uso wins. I
I
don't know if that's
I do want
I
to
could
say
see a
Jay,
world where Logan
right?
Paul does win because maybe they want to just go with something different and they don't want to do Jay and
Think about
Gunther
it
against
really
his
quick. Just
people.
goddamn, you hear it? 1, 2, 3. And Logan's a new champ. Why? Because Gunther's going to
I
take
could
the
see it.
title off of him in 2 weeks when he has after Money in the Bank, they have that Raw where Gunther is getting the title match. So I could
And
see them doing
I
it
could
just to
see,
get heat. And you know why Jay
yeah.
loses? Because of Seth and Braun and Paul Heyman. I think that they
And
fuck him over, and then I think that's going to also bleed into Jay, Punk, and Sammy grouping up, and that's when Seth and Braun will likely bring in the third member, and we'll go from there. But
who do you think that third member is going to be? Do you have any thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. I haven't. There's no one that I've like.
And
Yes, it has to be this
match
one.
quality wise,
There's
I want to see Gunther versus Logan because I think that could be a low key. Yes.
Yeah. If I
Banger.
was going to pick one person out of everybody, oh Jesus, it would be Ethan Page. I think he would benefit the most
I like that take.
from.
People are saying Austin Theory, which makes no sense because the crowd
He
is so
needs,
over with
yeah,
him
he
right now.
need.
So why put him in
Grayson
another heel
Waller could
faction?
be a really like if they put him in a fucking suit and because he's great in the ring. Get rid of the Australian Aussie type stuff and make him more serious and get rid of the cocky shit and just be like a total badass. Could work. There might be something there to it, but I'm thinking I doubt it happens, but something in me feels like Jay's gonna because I mean you saw how this played out on Monday. Braun Breaker beating the shit out of him. They're just trying to rough him up to get to the next match. They wanted to beat him down, and it wasn't about winning. You even saw Braun overselling and kind of being funny at first, and he was trying to do the mind game stuff that worked out quite well, I feel like. And it's interesting because there's so many people going for the world title. You got Gunther, you got Logan, you got, it's like Seth wants it. You don't know about Braun. Does Jay get to defend against everybody? What happens next? I like that unknown and also constantly provoked champion having threats in every possible, every facet. There's going to be someone against you. And I just love having that angle. And I more than likely am going to be a fool saying Jey Uso loses here. I'm sure he's going to eat it up and beat Logan. But after the way Gunther cut that promo, I mean, if Gunther came in to beat Logan, that's how you turn Gunther face if that's what they want to do. I mean, that's how you do it.
And people might be disappointed, but again, I wouldn't be too disappointed because just think about that. Gunther versus Logan Paul on a Monday Night Raw.
Right? I mean, hot damn.
That would be a fucking amazing match.
I think CM Punk and Sami Zayn lose. I think it's going to be a heel heavy kind of thing going here. I think Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker have to win because if they lose, then what's the threat of their new group? What's you know what I mean? Excuse me, I think it has to happen this way. I think Punk and Sammy lose. They possibly bring in their third member maybe and just outnumber them or wrestle them at that point. And that's going to lead to eventually, I think, will be Roman, tagging in. But in the meantime, it might be a Mr., Jey Uso. And no hate on Jay. Honestly, I like him being champ right now. I think it's been a fun time with the title. He's had some really fun and overall quite stellar matches, and the defenses have been good. I appreciate everything except for the roll it back. I don't need him to play his theme twice. That's I don't need that much eating because you're out of breath. God damn it, you're blowing yourself up. But what do you think? CM Punk and Sami Zayn, did they win or did they lose?
I think they lose.
Yeah, I think you and
I think
lined up.
there's a possibility. Here's where I think Sammy.
Don't tease me, you dirty cunt. Mm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I like to tease you every night.
But get me going, buddy. So, do tell me more.
I think that they showed signs of it because they're like, I can't trust you. You can't trust me. Can we trust each other? Kind of shit. So I think
can they coexist?
Yes, can they coexist, pal? I think Sami Zayn betrays CM Punk and joins Seth and Braun Breaker.
So you're not the first person to say this, and that would be something. What a heartbreaking moment if Sammy now. It almost kind of doesn't make sense because if he was going to do that, then why not take the title match on SmackDown then? You know what I mean? Like if you're going to team with them now and they beat the shit out of you for all these weeks, I don't know.
I mean, because
but it would be a
you
great
couldn't really,
shock.
because Sami Zayn's on a separate show from them, so he couldn't really ever join that
Yeah.
group.
So, it's like, it's interesting. It certainly would be a surprise. I just would have to have them really explain the why. It's so funny though,
Because
because some people really like Jay, and some people it's just the total opposite. They can't stand him. He's so divisive, and I find that to be really interesting.
I
That's
think
one of
it's
the things
just
I want to discuss at
mainly
some point.
I'm not the biggest fan of Jay either, with the wrestling wise and stuff. So I get what people are saying, but
See, I really
in the
enjoy him. He's
arenas,
gotten
I
better
don't
without
see
doing
booze
1,000
at all.
super
I don't
kicks,
hear
just 100.
booze. I see everyone just yeeting to him. So like, and I even know like when I was there, I was yeeting too. It's a fun thing to do, but
Of course, you got to join in on the party. How could you not? And that's the
wrestling
thing. He's
skill
not
wise, I
just
don't
an
think he's the
entrance, though.
greatest.
He's not just an entrance. I do think he provides a good, unique talent in ring. I think he's a bit.
If he wasn't just an entrance, they wouldn't. He gets cheered, and like when he's cutting his promos and not just doing the dance, they're doing yeet
Yeah,
after
they're
everything he says,
interacting
like
with
kind of how
him.
like after one,
Exactly.
like in the Attitude Era when Stone Cold talk, what
Yeah, they went
what
ahead
like they
and
do for him.
they nail it in, and it's not a disrespect thing either. It's out of like this genuine caring.
Yeah,
It's really it's interesting because you'll get some reactions like we said for Sami Zayn. Oh, one more time, and that's what I'm saying. Like for Sammy to turn now, they would have to. It would be a very cool thing, but they would have to really explain it well because I just don't pick up on the why there. Like, why would he have gotten beat so badly and fight against them this whole time and do, you know like some of those things it would be cool but they gotta make it make sense for me. All in all, this is going to be a fun show. I like what they're doing here, and probably the show that I'm most excited for. A big surprise. I know, like you couldn't figure this one out. Jake's excited for NXT, of course, but no, I really am looking forward to Battleground for several reasons. I am excited for this show. It's gonna be just a shit ton of fun. They've got surprisingly a few more matches than I originally was expecting. So we have 6 now, even though it looks like it could be a cool 7 altogether. And I appreciated that they were still adding matches as of this week. So yeah, we have 6 still currently. One that they added recently, we have Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs, as we said before. Will he be joining the culling? Will he be consumed? Because Hank and Tank came out to save him after he was being attacked by the culling after the match. So I think the Culling's winning here, and that's going to lead to them not only getting a tag title shot, but also Briggs eventually joining the group. So that's my take. What are you thinking, sir?
sorry, you broke up there
I'm losing
badly.
you there. So Hank and
Yeah,
Tank and Josh Briggs taking on the Culling. Who do you think's going to win?
we having technical difficulties,
You're
people.
having issues. You can't hear me currently. That's all right.
Yeah,
Well, when
yeah.
when it gets cleared up, we'll work through it. So
Okay, Hank and Tank, you said, all right.
yes, Hank and Tank with Josh Briggs. I'll blame Discord.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
blame Discord as well.
them going
Fuck 'em.
with the culling. I like what Sean Spears has been doing. I like the deep psychology and the brooding manner, but it's not. It's a little bit macabre. It's a little bit spooky, but it's not supernatural at all. It's just all about mind control. And I think that that's going to be pretty important when it comes to Briggs because Briggs is often portrayed as a very compassionate and caring individual who has a big heart and looks out for others. And now, he's lost his partner and he's obviously taking it hard with, Inamara not being there. So now I think with that vulnerability and Sean Spears being good at, taking people when they're at their weakest, I think they're going to go ahead and take him down. But Hank and Tank are beasts. Unfortunately, I think Briggs gets pinned here, and that leads to Hank and Tank having to defend the titles against, like maybe Spears and Vance or Jensen or even Briggs. Sean Spears and Josh Briggs would be cool to do. That would be a hell of a match. So, but who do you think's winning here?
I think, Hank and Tank win, and
certainly not a
it's
bad
a
idea
six-man tag, right?
yeah, it's not a bad idea to root for the tag champs. I
I
think
don't
there's a
like
way to do it though
champions
where they
losing in
lose.
non-title matches, though. That's my
Yeah, I think it works
feeling.
only because Briggs would be the one to get pinned. Neither of the tag champs would be involved in the loss. So if it's to further the story on that end, I don't mind them losing here because it's not their title defense. It's not their feud, really. They're just there to help Briggs. They came out to honk, honk, kick some ass and save some days.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
oh,
I
don't
don't know what's
be.
going on.
Are you kidding me? With all the stuff we've dealt with in live over the years, a little bit of a delay or disconnect is pretty
Yeah,
mild.
like earlier in the show, it was really bad because it was like the El Grande Americano. Then I was trying to react to that. Then I didn't hear you. Then you're like, and the backstage segment was, oh, wait, I was thrown off.
I
I was
fucked you up a little bit, but no, since I messed with the bit rate, it seems to be improved. So Discord is very particular. Like I want to make you sound good, but if I put it up too high, you end up not being able to hear me. But if I put it too low, then you guys sound like robots. So
right. So
gotta
we sound like Charlotte if we wait. What? Oh,
yeah. So all in all, I think the Cullen's winning here, and you're saying the good guys prevail. Next up, we have
Yes.
Sol Ruka. She's defending her Women's North American Championship against Kalani Jordan, the former
Solo Ruka. Enough
Women's
said.
champion.
I don't care. Solo Ruka win.
Yeah, I think Sol Ruka's retaining here, but it's going to lead to more dissension between her and Zarya. There's going to be some type of miscommunication that
Yes.
causes them to fight.
100%. But
Then we have as they're booking it, the most the biggest betrayal and the most storied of matches as Tony D representing the family taking on his underboss Dax Channing Lorenzo after he killed poor Luca, and it's he's swimming with the fishes now. This should be a good match. This should be a fucking a bloodbath. Hopefully, if they're not blood from a stoning each other here and really, because it's so personal. And I like the way that Tony's like, you think you knew everything, but I kept you in the dark about a lot of it because I knew you couldn't handle it. I'm sure that Sol Ruka's brown eye will be showing again, especially with the render she put out the other day that she's happy with. I mean, it just blends in perfectly, but her whole ass is out, asshole and all. Absolutely. I think Stax is winning here. He's going to beat Tony D, and they're going to have a bit of a thing where Tony D goes away, and Stax is going to be the new, the new leader of the family. He's going to be the boss, and then it'll come back to possibly one more where they have a big payoff, and Tony gets the family back. That's my guess. If I was booking, that's what I would do. But who do you think's winning?
Tony D.
Now, what makes you say that? Why you got the mobster winning?
I don't know. Just be
going
different.
off of feeling. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst
Yeah.
idea if he's like, "Hey, that's why you were the the underman. You were the second because you didn't know what it takes to truly be, in charge of the family." So I like what they're going for here. I think it's a good idea to kind of let this breathe and get some more out of it. But I'm still picking Stacks. Then, goddamn, like this could be the main event all on its own. We've got Stephanie Vacour, our women's champion for NXT, taking on Jordan Grace. This is like a NXT WrestleMania, type match that I've been waiting for with their one-on-one. We've seen them in the Fatal 4-Way and kind of face off and team up and all this, but I don't quite know who to pick yet. I've gone back and forth repeatedly because Stephanie should be a dominant defending champion as she's been. But if she just beats Grace here, I feel like that's a real disservice to everything that Jordan's accomplished since coming in. Like, I'm not saying she can't lose ever, but I really think she needs this win more than Stephanie does. I think Jordan might end up taking the belt here. I know it's a bit crazy, but if this doesn't end in some type of chicanery, carny fuckery, I am predicting right now Jordan Grace walks out as the new NXT Women's Champion. Take that to the bank because I'm cashing it in, my friend. I think that's going to be what happens because they've already earmarked Stephanie to be on the main roster. The draft is coming up soon,
Yeah.
so I really think that she'll be up just like Julia was. They said that she was just going to have a short stint in NXT overall, and she ended up being the star more than Julia. They thought Julia was going to be where Stephanie was and vice versa. So Stephanie was supposed to be the one, with Roxanne and doing these tag matches and stuff. And instead, Stephanie got organically over with the fans more. And, the devil's kiss certainly helps, but that face fucking maneuver, goddamn, did she get a nice niche audience there. Stephanie's great. She's a hell of a talent. They have got their hands full with some of the best women wrestlers in the world. That's why I wanted to see Evolution, but Jordan Grace, I think, needs the win more than Stephanie here. Crazy, but
That we can go with Jordan Grace is definitely winning because I think
oh,
Stephanie is what.
What does the fox say? No, I had to go and just blow my mind that you agreed with me. I thought you were going to pick Stephanie. I really did. You made me shat a little there. I was not expecting it. So
yeah, we've disagreed a lot. I'm in trouble, guys. After the show, he's got a lot of bananas. He just sent me a picture of.
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. Don't you worry about it. In Minecraft, but
that. But yeah, I see Stephanie Becker going to the main roster soon because the draft is coming up. So I think she would be a good fit on like SmackDown.
She would be, and I think Stephanie would be great on Raw or SmackDown. SmackDown, she would be a huge addition.
SmackDown needs it more, but then again,
have her go and feud with Tiffany Stratton. Have her go and feud. Oh God, whoa, that would be so badass. I would.
The titles are exclusive, right? You said. I was gonna say, unless they put.
They are still keeping. They're not drafting champions, from what they said. It's
except
still,
the United States and I can't see how those are exclusive. The Intercontinental.
Yeah, they're keeping them on. Each show. Raw has the IC, and SmackDown's supposed to be the U.S. title, and that's why they have the United States
they're not
title
with championships anymore. So.
They're not, but they keep them all together because that's why they have the Women's United States Championship, and the United States title is over on SmackDown with Jacob Fatu, and then they have the IC title for Lyra and the IC title for Dom. And then they have, the World Tag Champs and the Women's World Tag,
Like the men's, like the men's Intercontinental title goes
you would
SmackDown.
Think, but no, they're pretty much going ahead and, they're fucked. That's how it goes, basically. It's
see, this is what's going to fuck up the draft again, and everything's going to just stay the fucking same, and it's just going to drive me fucking loco.
Well,
and I can't.
You can keep the belts the same, but the thing is like, all right, you want to keep those people, so now you're just keeping champions from being able to switch from shows. All right, well then, really, what's the point of the draft?
Then
like
what
you said,
causes a domino effect? Then, like Dominic's feuding with Finn soon, so Finn can't go over to SmackDown. Liv can't go over to Smack because that's Dom's boyfriend. Raquel's gonna end up feuding with Liv, so she needs to stay on Raw. And then Rhea Ripley, she's always gonna be in that vortex with
so where
Liv
do you
and
go
all
from
them,
here?
so she needs to stay on Raw. And then
That's why,
You know,
Tiffany
everyone
and
just needs-
Cena, they have the same belts. She's got the women's undisputed and he's got the men's undisputed, universal, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
maybe
And,
that's why you be fucking creative and come up with fucking different designs.
well, EO has the
But
world title,
no.
and then the men's have the the Raw side has the world tag team championship. They really kept all the branding together. But once you can't draft champions, then you're just keeping everything the same, and
I
status
thought they would
quo
just
is
get
not what
rid
we
of that.
need. And
I thought they would
I
just get rid of that since they got rid of the branding of the title. Ah, fuck. I'm gonna crash out tonight. I think I lost you again.
No, I'm just taking more happy pills.
Oh.
You're gonna crash
there we
out. I got you, bud. Just take the happy
Yeah.
pills. It's all good. No, honestly, that's the problem though. Once they can't draft champions, it all falls to shit. What's the point then? And like you said, they should
Because
be able to
everything's
change
just
it
gonna
up.
stay the same.
Yeah, you don't need to keep all the branding nice and neat. You can have the world and undisputed next to each other, and what the fuck does it matter? No cock and ball torture needed. I agree.
Yeah, you can have the women's world title and the men's WWE championship. And you can have like the women's intercontinental title
Yeah.
and men's United States and stuff like that. And it just fucks everything up.
No, you're right. And that's the thing. And it's like, what are you supposed to
Champions
do
should be
there,
able to
so?
be drafted.
I agree. And
Because it's just logical. You have to switch it up. If SmackDown selects Dominic Mysterio, Raw's going to be like, okay, shit, we got to draft Jacob Fatu.
yeah, exactly.
You have to just instantly think like that. So we can't lose both mid card
way too many
titles to
happy
the other
pills.
show.
That's the thing. And once you can't mix things up, there's no justified reason as to why. That's at least before it was, the Raw title here, SmackDown here, and then they made them change belts, and that was really silly. So why not just let the belts go wherever? Why does it have to stay on each show if they're not branded show specific titles? I agree. You nailed the goddamn point there. Somebody make it make sense. Now we're on to our second of 3 main events. I mean, really, how fucking stacked is this show? If I wish I was closer to the Performance Center. And I mean, this show, I guess the tickets are not that expensive for Battleground. They're almost sold out now, and apparently they were doing like discounts because they had people going for multiple days. And surprisingly, the one that was more expensive was Saturday night's main event. God, I can't talk. And it was Saturday night's main event, SmackDown, Raw, Battleground, and NXT as far as prices from most to least. So, but second of 3 main events, Obafemi, the NXT champion himself, the ruler, taking on Miles Bourne. Say what? He may not have heard me, but I believe in him as well. Mr. Randy Orton Jr. here needs to be wrestling in like full trunks, not the Orton trunks that he's got going on now. He needs like, long pants or something, because maybe he's got to let his hair grow out again if he can, something, because he's too much like Orton. But yeah, Miz hosting American Gladiators. I used to love American Gladiators growing up as a kid. That was such a freaking nostalgia trip to hear that the Miz is going to be hosting that. And great on the Miz. As we said before, he deserves as much credit as possible. But I would love to see Miles win the title. Obafemi's had the belt for a little while now. I think it could be a really fun thing, to surprise everybody and get Miles the win, but that's not what's happening. Obafemi's retaining here. He is the ruler, but
Yes.
he's gonna make Miles a star, and he's gonna sell at one point, and it's gonna
Obafemi's good with
be.
that though.
He's great at making other people look amazing, and he's gonna sell at one point. That's gonna, the 2.5 out of 3. He's almost got the belt, but he's gonna put him over big and as much as you can without winning. The Cochlear Crusher, that would be badass now. Obafemi wins, though. Is that who you're siding with as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, we agreed again.
Mm-hmm.
What's
2 for
going
2.
on?
You better be careful. Now, the last match, I think we might agree again as well. We've got the fallen hero, the former Carmelo's bitch, Trick Williams, He's going after our man, Joe Hendry. And we're going to have a TNA World Championship match on a WWE NXT Premium Live event. I mean,
like the sound of it. Good for promotion, good for everything like that too.
that's absolutely incredibly mind-blowingly impossible to fathom. Like, Vince must have heard that and just needed to take some Miralax, because that would pucker up his asshole to the point where he's not shitting for a week. I'm telling you, that man's got some poop problems, because the stress of having that disgusting TNA brand involved with them at all. I mean, apparently backstage, Vince despised TNA. He didn't view them as competition. He just hated them because of, the Russos and everything that
He wasn't afraid
Hogan.
to name drop them on TV.
Yeah, he had no fear of them. He didn't view them as competition, but he absolutely despised that fucking company. Yeah, this would never have happened under Vince. And the way they've done this,
No way.
you embarrassed the TNA champion on WrestleMania by having him get beat by Orton so quick. He got to be over as fucking you could be. 60,000 plus people screaming for Joe Hendry. Now, all the people that have never seen him before, either on TNA or NXT, the worldwide WrestleMania audience gets to go, who is this guy? Oh my God, this is... They didn't make him look terrible. Losing to Orton that quick, it happens. The RKOs, Yeah.
Like, you're facing one of the greatest WWE superstars of all time. That's just...
Yeah.
Great right there in itself.
It's like, what do you expect, people? Come on.
People are like, oh, he's buried. You fucking realize who he was facing, Randy fucking Orton, one of WWE's GOATs. And then you say, oh, he's getting buried. Like, come on. Like, no offense to Joe Hendry, but
Hendry...
I don't think WWE was going to ever dare let one of their best stars ever lose to a TNA star.
It was supposed to be Kevin Owens. That's what the story was. And now, knowing that, he had to go for the neck surgery, and we haven't heard an update on him recently. I hope he's doing well. But yeah, if I agree, Paul, if Hendry's buried, I want to be buried too, because that, my God, that moment, I would kill to have that. I'm telling you. How would you guys have booked, what we're talking about for NXT differently? Because I'm thinking Joe Hendry has to retain here. It'd be cool to see Trick and WWE NXT contracted superstar with the TNA world title. Imagine they screw over Joe Hendry somehow and Trick is the new TNA champion. That would be nuts. I think Hendry's retaining, because I think we might get the Jordan Grace title change. And I love me some Stephanie as well.
I could see for shock value Trick wins, but I think
it doesn't
Joe
really
Hendry
make
retains.
sense. Yeah, I'm with you, bud. Again, we're 3 for 3 here lining up, so you better be puckering up, baby, because when we're this limber, I'm telling you, something's not right here. But getting into it finally with AEW Double or Nothing. I mean, this show, apparently they had a really great showing tonight with Dynamite. Everybody said that they really are enjoying it, so that's pretty cool.
Dynamite
apparently it was good. Yeah. I've not seen it yet.
Then we know how. Imagine if Dynamite and SmackDown were good in the same week.
Right. We've got to see what happens, but yeah. Apparently it was a good night, and we also got quite the battle of words between Hendry's retaining. Yeah, I agree, Paul. Yeah, we got the battle of words between Hangman and Ospreay. That was supposedly really damn good. Solid 20 minutes of them just tearing it down. So
Ospreay loves WWE apparently more than his own company.
Right? Hey, who would have thunk it? Now, here's the thing with this match. This is apparently going to be the main event, but you said Dynamite was very good tonight. The main event was but the overrun stuff was great. All right, see, so I do have to go. I will go back and catch that tomorrow. I mean, I am looking forward to watching this week's episode, honestly, because I'm curious to see how it builds for Double or Nothing heading into the weekend. But Hangman and Ospreay
don't play tomorrow, so because you know me,
yeah, buddy.
When baseball season's on, so I have to focus on the Mets. So
you know it.
Mets are off tomorrow, so tomorrow I might do some DoorDash in the morning.
There you go, and then
you
get
something for lunch and watch AEW and NXT.
Yes, there you go. That sounds like a damn good idea. Now, what are you gonna have for lunch? That's the real story. Because I'm
I don't know.
starving.
Like
You know what it is?
I'm gonna see how my stomach's holding up.
That's what it is. I
Uh,
gotta see what your stomach can handle because I've been up for days at this point. I probably should just go to bed, but I might try to eat something. I don't want to vomit. Like I have pretty much I've just been drinking Gatorade. I
this
needed
could be a
something with
mistake
sugar, so I don't drink much soda hardly ever, but it's
because
kind of good to
rice
have
could
some
fuck it up.
yeah,
Gatorade's good.
I needed some type of something with a little bit of sugar to keep me going tonight because we're
Oh
still
yeah.
on the last of our massive
I'm gonna. I
fucking
decided
preview show.
already.
You did
I'm
decide.
gonna, if my stomach feels good for it, Chinese. How about that?
Oh Jesus, you're really pushing your luck. Huh? If my stomach doesn't feel
Yeah,
like dying today, I'm just gonna fill it
yeah.
with
You
some
know me,
China
but
can on the way.
I mean, you know me. See, I like food. That's my issue. This is like the
That's what
fucking
you know what is it?
delusions of my stomach problem. Like I love food, and then I'm like, my stomach says otherwise. You can't have food anymore,
It's
and
so
I'm like, but I
weird.
want it. So it's like a
I don't have the hunger hormone anymore. So like I get mentally hungry being high. I'll get munchies. But if I'm not consuming marijuana or anything, like I will just forget to eat. Like it because you just don't feel hunger. It's a very surreal thing to deal with. I know third world problems with my
it's a
fat
weird
ass over here, but it
like
is
my
very
brain
weird.
makes me feel like I'm hungry. I'm like, ooh,
Oh,
food. You know,
when you come out of the
it's
weight
like
loss surgery, you eat so little for quite a length of time. And here's the thing, like the amount of sustenance your body actually needs to survive is crazy small. And I was like, "Oh my god, I have to eat like several bites of baby food and a handful of a bunch of vitamins." And that was like my meal for days. Like you had a protein shake here and there and that was kind of it. And it was like, that you're fitting very little, but that's all you needed. What you got to go orange chicken. General So is good, but sometimes it's too spicy. The garlic
orange
cat,
chicken is.
I like garlic
See,
cat,
I
but
agree with you on the General Tso's chicken. Like sometimes, like it changes like every
eh,
time. Like sometimes, like depending on the spice tolerance. Oh, what was going on there?
I like crispy chihuahua.
Uh,
That's my favorite, but
oh,
it's a
oh.
delicacy. Getting in here, I know that's the main event with Osprey and
Jesus fucking
Hangman,
Christ!
but
You have to.
what
I'm
what
done.
made it feel skippable recently was the tournament. Honestly, I don't
I
care about
can't.
their tournaments. Just get me to the end. Get
I'm
me
crying.
right
Oh,
into it. Oh, I broke you, huh?
no, I
So
can't. Hold on. I need a moment.
just get me right to
Uh,
the end. Get me to the fucking finals because their tournaments are great, but they're just match after match after match. And I get burnt out quick when there's usually no story. So having Hangman and Osprey be that dedicated to have this much of a story in there, it's just it
I'm sorry.
really
You fucking that just broke me. I'm still. I'm just.
I just hey, I caught you, we're just a little hungry. I
Yeah.
think I think Osprey wins.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Cuz
I think
then
Osprey wins, but I want Hangman to win. I like him better than
I
Osprey.
mean,
You know, something people call Osprey the best wrestler in the world, but I think like you guys said it before. If you've seen one Osprey match, you've seen them all.
yeah,
And
and he's
I
damn
think
good,
he's.
no doubt. But a lot of the things he does are some of the things that I can't stand at times. Like he's usually very
I like to
entertaining, but
argue. I like to argue Gunther's a better wrestler than him.
yeah,
Maybe a hot
is
take, but
in ring. I could see what, but it's like Osprey does use psychology. He does, when he does the flippy shit,
yes.
he usually tries to make it matter or mean something. But even he gets a bit carried away at times
But
with it for the
here's the
move's
thing with it.
sake.
He wants to make it matter with him, but like it doesn't matter because AEW every week needs to do a flippity dippity doo dah.
Well, that's why I was burnt
Like
out with the tournament because I'm like, just get me to the end because it's just going to be all matches straight through, and it's like, all right, good, great, but where's the meat? No bread, no water, just meat. I need something here. I could see Hangman being a good choice because you get a title shot at All In. So All In Texas, whoever's wins here is going to face Moxley. And I thought they were trying to set up Darby Allin. If they make the Moxley thing with the Death Riders go all the way until Wrestle Dream again to make it a full year, dear God, that's a fucking nightmare. I knew Moxley was not going to be dropping the belt to Samoa Joe with the cage match, but that was still like, a bridge too far at times. And especially and Moxley actually looked like quite the badass in certain moments, bleeding and fucking going nuts. But it's again, like, what did they do with Edge? They brought him back. They had Cope come in for a little bit. He spiked Moxley's back with Spike, and then that was it. Like, now FTR turned on him, and so it just felt like you wasted him entirely. You get him back from injury, and that was that. Couldn't you have done stuff with Christian and finally finished that storyline? No, okay. Like, a lot of the stuff just feels forgotten about, and when you bring it up, you're like, oh no, you're crazy. That never happened. Come on, help me out here. I think Ospreay's winning. Having Hangman be the one to win, though, and be like Mr. AEW, either guy could be Mr. AEW to go up against Moxley's Death Riders, but I feel like the company man more is Page because he's been there longer, but I think Ospreay's winning. That's my take.
You cut out there again, so
I think Ospreay's winning. Who do you think?
Yeah.
Ospreay or Hangman?
I'd rather have Hangman. I like him better, but I think Ospreay is gonna win.
Yeah. And then we have Okada taking on Speedball, Cocaine Bailey. This is for the Continental Championship. Again, foregone conclusion, Okada's keeping this belt until he can get to Kenny Omega, That's going to be all in Texas, and that's how it's working. So I think Okada wins here. It'll be a good match, no doubt. But
I'm not the biggest fan of Speedball Mike Bailey, in my personal opinion. I don't know if
he's certainly not bad, but the Karate Kid gimmick doesn't resonate great with me.
I'm not the biggest fan of it. Maybe if he changed his gimmick, maybe I would like him a little more. But I just do not. Like
I'm just not crazy into the karate thing.
Where personal me opinion.
Yeah, but, like when they started to have everybody be the MMA guy for a while, and they were trying to make that a thing. I didn't care for that either because you're trying to add realism. Right. So when you're doing these karate kicks and moving like this, that's his character. But it's just, I don't know. It's not a bridge too far, certainly. But
I do think
there is a disconnect.
Wins, though.
Yeah, Okada's definitely retaining here. Then we got a stretcher match between Mark Briscoe and Ricochet. This is, Speedball's cringe. I kind of agree, Paul. And this has been so just haphazardly like, oh, I see what you did, so we're going to do it better, but it came out worse. WWE got this great organic moment when a fan threw his prosthetic limb to Montez Ford to be used in that incredible SmackDown TLC match that they had. Just like I said, was not a plant, was not preemptively planned. Like this just, again, organic. It happened naturally. It just occurred, and it was a memorable moment from, Mania weekend type thing. Everybody was excited.
And AEW was like, whatever you can do, we can do worse.
So now they go ahead and they steal the one-legged man's, and they got him back, and Gowan's in there, and now they got to have a match with him and Ricochet, and I was never crazy about having him wrestle, and I know that sounds so ableist, but it just really puts like a phony vibe when you have him just hopping around and doing hurricanranas with one leg. Like he's incredible for what he can do. He's a good wrestler
for one leg. Like he is really good, but like,
it just really like the opponent. If it sounds so silly, but like I'm not just gonna sweep your one leg and call it a day. Like it feels
was
very.
Johnny Ace there?
He must have been signing the wrong one. I think Ricochet obviously wins here. Briscoe is just there to get beat yet again. Far cry from what they were when him and his brother were tearing apart the fucking tag team division. Oh, what a
You think Ricochet wins?
I think Ricochet wins. He's going to be...
That's another guy that doesn't like me. Huh.
You're just racking him up, my friend.
And I'm not even that bad. Like I don't say it. People say a lot worse, but
see, I don't get the Twitter Ricky thing that he's doing, because my issue with it is you can't be a troll and then also be rah AEW is the best company ever. You can't have both. Excuse me.
Exactly.
There's times where he does.
He's making an excuse, saying, "I'm just being a heel, man." Like, no, you're not. You're just being a fucking
I went to mute myself to burp, and instead I turned my light off for a second. So I hit the wrong button. I was like, oh, just I did it. Oops.
I've done that before, like going to bed or something, like
Oops.
turning lights on and off. Like the light was already off, then I go to turn it off, but I turn it back on.
Yeah,
Shit
no
like
doubt
that.
about it. So just oops, my bad. At least it sounds good over there, though. But I'm happy that now I can preview the stream and you guys don't hear it on your end. I could even see, I could still hear Cody and you guys can't anymore. It makes me sound like I just got a voice in my head, right, bud? No. Now they can. But it's good. I'm learning the little tricks of the trade here, and in the middle of my insane ramblings while we get through the double or nothing predictions
How long
before we
couldn't
get
they
out
hear
of
me
here.
for? I wonder.
How long have we been live? An hour and 56
Fuck off.
minutes and 33 seconds. There was one stream that I was doing, not stream, recording for Spaz. I've been helping him with the death of Skype and his computer basically being a potato with legs. We've gone ahead and upgraded to me doing the podcast, and I've been learning how to Audacity my ass off and actually make it sound probably the best we've ever sounded. So that's cool. We got the mixing in there. I've got noise gates, and I'm removing breaths and clicks, and it sounds good. I'm very pleased with how it came out. And point being, though, I wanted to say thank you all for subscribing, for liking, for commenting, for hanging out with these videos. I appreciate it greatly. It means the world to me, honestly. And we have been growing at a just impeccably phenomenal rate. We hit 6,669 subs before. I'm such a child. I had to laugh when that one came through. But I just really wanted to say thank you to everybody for just being so supportive and just being so helpful and badass. And it like I said, really, really just means a lot. And I hope you all keep enjoying the content because, again, like I said, we're going to be live all weekend. That's for sure. And
Oh yeah.
it's going to be a hell of a weekend, as we know. We've got so much content coming up here, and
What kind of content you talking about? We digging into the OnlyFans content yet, or not yet? Or we're saving that for a different date?
you'd be surprised. It depends on how many feet pick offers we get, but don't you worry.
That's fair. You can make a lot of money off.
That we can, all joking aside, I literally said to a few people earlier, I said, I wish I had a vagina. I would have been rich. I don't even have to be hot anymore, but thank you all for helping me hit. There it is. 6,669 subs. We're actually at 6,684 now. We surpassed it, but I'm a child and that made me laugh. So thank you all for the regular and consistent support. And it was a hell of a fun night. So you will never get that high, I know. But road to 10K, we're going there. You will, Liz. We all will, because into somewhere, when the tides rise, all ships do as well. And we've got a really nice community. Liz has been a great supporter. Make sure you guys follow her on Twitch. Her link is in the description box down below. That's where you can
Which
find
is secretly
Cody's
me, by the way.
info and Spaz's info. And it's really Cody, so I'm glad we figured that out finally. But so now we have heel FTR. Getting back to Double or Nothing. Match number 5. We're taking on Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness. So interesting to see Nigel back at it again. And him teaming up with Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia really doesn't do much for me. It's the dancing and the hump in the air, and he had a moment where the fans were behind him in the earlier years, and then I feel like he just drifted for a long time. He got the TNT title, and then that was kind of it. So I think FTR, newly turned heels, they need to look badass with Stokely. They're winning, and Nigel will have a good showing, a nice outing, nostalgia moment, but FTR is going to fuck them up. Just like they destroyed, the Rock and Roll Express and everybody else that they can try to portray as the Midnight Express. I think they're just going to beat the fuck out of these two, and that'll be it. Yeah, a lot of people say he's very awesome, and he's really good to fans. So Nigel, being one of the most down-to-earth people that you met, at a Collision, yeah, he was going out and like actively going to talk to fans and see people. And a lot of wrestlers and talent just dip the hell out. He was seeking people out, so
which is a
very
good thing. You
cool.
should be
Yeah,
interacting with fans more.
absolutely. I mean, no, you don't have to walk out into a sea of people every week, but it is nice to
Well,
at
yeah,
least be acknowledged
but
and seen. So,
a lot of wrestlers just seem like they don't care most of the time.
kinda, and you're not wrong. And I don't know that it would ever get old to me. Like I don't. My mindset is too much of like a. I would be like the one online being like, oh my God, are people thinking that I'm rude? That kind of thing. I would be too worried. But you know who's not
Yeah.
worried? Fucking the Hurt Syndicate, because they got MJF in their corner now. That's right. So we've got the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara. I really like this tag team too. They're going to get destroyed by the Hurt Syndicate. I think it's going to
Yep.
be an exciting match, but they're going to get fucked up, and MJF is going to do something dirty to get them screwed over. So,
100% the Hurt Syndicate's gonna.
yeah.
Do you think MJF goes babyface, or you think?
No, I think they're going to keep him heel. He's just going to be like that cool heel still, but eventually I think they'll turn the Hurt Syndicate face, and then MJF will stay a heel. That's honestly my thought with it. And this is for
Because
the
they tried to
AEW.
babyface MJF before, but
Yeah, and the Sons of Texas have the ROH titles, don't forget. So this is only for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, but still, they're both tag champs. So it is a precarious situation. Really, Brian Cage helped my dad work his phone for a selfie. That's hilarious. When we were there, Jack Perry was actually a bit of a dick at I always forget
was.
Grand Slam. Yeah, he had the match with Phoenix that night, and it was really good. And fans were trying to, like meet him afterwards, and it just didn't seem like he was too inviting, unfortunately. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, I think the Hurt Syndicate end up beating them here, and they retain their titles. Especially, it would have been cool if they gave them all the belts. Fuck it, give the Hurt Syndicate the ROH titles too. But no, let Dustin and Sammy go back to ROHville, and they can disappear again for a while. God, that breaks my heart because I really like Sammy Guevara. I think he's a great talent, and I feel like they have many times now missed the boat with him. He's like another Ricky Starks to me, where the possibility could be endless, but they're just not capitalizing on it, unfortunately. Then we have the women's final for the Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournament. And they also get a women's world championship match at All In. We have Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné. Now,
Does
Mercedes
Moné ever lose?
well, she lost her New
Yeah,
Japan Strong title a couple weeks back. She wasn't pinned, but she didn't win the match, so she did lose one of her titles. What's going on, Swerve Show? He was so humble when I seen him in person. Oh, no shit. MJF and the Hurt Syndicate had a signing tonight for MJF to join. There you go. So I got to check that out. Dustin cut a pretty good promo. I do look forward to going back. You're not the only one to say Penelope Ford was rude, though. That's unfortunate. Maybe she was just in character. But I want to say that Jamie Hayter would win here, but I don't think that's what's happening. I think they're setting up Mercedes and Toni Storm. So I think Mercedes Sasha CE No is winning here. Who do you got, my friend? What are you thinking?
I think Mercedes Moné wins.
Yeah, I think that's what it goes to. And then, of course, as we said before, timeless Toni Storm defending her women's world championship against Mina Shirakawa.
I think Toni wins.
Yeah, Tony has to win this, no doubt about it. And then, of course, anarchy in the arena. This is usually a
Is
spectacle.
this like their? Is this like their? I know it's not the same, but is this like what Survivor Series does with War Games now? It has to be there. They have to force a way to be on the show.
Well, this is not their War Games match. That's Blood and Guts.
No, I know.
But,
no, I know that. No, I know that. But
but this has to. Like has to be. I got you. Like on Double or Nothing. Yeah, this is like a staple now for each year. They have to have. Yep, they have to have a fucking anarchy in the arena match. So I get your point now. I'm a bit of a, an artard, just drifting in my
It
brain
happens to
stew
the
here
best
from
of us,
not
you know.
sleeping.
I am too.
But I'm telling you, my friend, I think this match is going to be a clusterfuck. So we got Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Willow Nightingale, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Shibata, the Ops, taking on the Death Riders. So Moxley, Claudio, Marina, and Wheeler, and the Young Bucks. So Matt and Nick Jackson. Holy hell. So it's 6-on-6 because they added a woman to both sides. So Willow and Marina get to beat
So
the
are the
shit out of
women
each other.
are the women and men allowed to fight, or is that not allowed?
Yeah, no, they're having Willow and Marina take on each other as well. So they'll be beating the
But
shit out of
are
each
like,
other. And
can
I,
they fight the men as well?
I'm
Though?
sure they'll hit some guys, and the guys might not hit them. They might. You never know. Maybe they'll go through with it. But at least the Panther Stadium gets some action. They did a tease of the anarchy in the arena tonight, Paul says, and Willow did lose a lot of weight. Awesome on her. That was good to see. I just want her to be able to feel better. That's the thing. Every fucking pound is like 4 pounds of pressure off your knees. So that's what I was saying with Braun before he got let go. He was really starting to walk like creaky. And I said, carrying all that muscle mass, if he lost like 50 pounds, it would probably help him. Same thing with I heard Bronson Reed actually put on more muscle and lost some weight too. So interested to see how he turns out. But I'm excited to go back and actually check out Dynamite. That's a rare thing for me to be saying, but damn, I am excited for this weekend. We've got so many good shows and there's a lot to look forward to. I've got one question for you with Double or Nothing. What was the
Mhm.
point of adding, what's his name, Gabe Kidd the week before, having him, be the secret side piece that helped Moxley retain, and they don't even have him in the Anarchy match? Like, what's the point of bringing him in then? Was it just to counter Jeff Cobb Mateo, JC Mateo now? Which I'm not crazy about the
Yeah,
name. There have been worse, but whatever. Hey, it works. Well, I'm sure we'll eventually just pay no mind to it, but it is a little off-putting. JC
yeah.
Mateo. It's not terrible, but it's,
I'm not sure, but JC, that's what they're calling him now, right?
yeah, it has a
Even though
weird ring to it.
they were calling him Jeff
JC.
Cobb, right?
I don't think they ever actually said his name as Jeff
No,
Cobb. I think they just said that's the biggest free agent, and they kind of left it at that. So crazy shit, my friend. Crazy shit indeed.
you know it. I don't get it.
But it's a hell of a show planned out for Double or Nothing. So this will still be going on probably for the next 19 hours while I don't think it's the worst name, honestly. I honestly don't think it's the worst name. It's just it doesn't roll off the tongue naturally with him. It feels wrong. Doesn't feel like it suits Cobb. I don't know. It's better than corn on the cob, but
Yeah,
only
you
so
know
many
it.
dad jokes we can make at this point. Now I'll make you wet. So, all in
Oh
all,
yeah.
like I said, we'll be live for TNA Under Siege on Friday. Going to be a lot of fun. My daughter's got her prom that night, so I'm sure I'll have to fucking, get myself some liquored up time too. Then I got to go ahead and be with you crazy bastards for Saturday night's main event. We're going to be going ahead and having our live review and hang out after for that. So that's going to be a great time. Make sure you're tuned in, locked in for that. Hitting the subscribe button, the bell, so you know when we go live. Hit the thumbs up on this one because it helps a lot with the channel. And like I said, we'll be live on Sunday as well. Spaz will be joining me then. He'll be featured his live correspondence from Under Siege. He'll be sending us videos because it'll be there live in Brampton, not even Toronto, actually in Brampton where he is, as I'm doxing him. God, terrible person I am. Sorry,
Enjoy.
Spaz. But enjoy it in Brampton. Guys, thank you all so much. Cody, tell these amazing people where they can find you, my friend.
You can find me over on my Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it nowadays, at Judgment Day Era, and you can find me over on my Instagram at Cody_Onidi_316.
Yeah, that's right. And you guys can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, on Rumble, all at Countdown Ended. Then obviously here, Jake Countdown ended DeMarco on YouTube. Gonna be a hell of a weekend. I appreciate you all hanging out with us for an extra super long out of just massive weekend of wrestling. My God, essentially because Sunday even has Spaz and I covered. If you want predictions for that, make sure you check out the State of Wrestling over there. But holy hell, I'm excited. It's a lot of wrestling. Into Somewhere Weekly's in the bag, folks. Thank you all for hanging out with us. I hope you all have a great night, and we will see you live this Friday for TNA Under Siege. Until then, stay sexy. Find your happiness.